Trash to Cash Podcast, episode 97. I'm Dave, the ADH guy, and with me as always is Carrie, the American Arbitrage. And Carrie, where's Kevin?
I don't know. I'm live from my music room right now.
He
It's one of the
said
many
he'd be
rooms
here.
in my new home. So I
Kevin
don't know where
will
Kevin
be
is.
here.
Kevin's
He will be
probably
here.
pooping.
I think he'll be here. I think he's just running a little late, like normal. He's a bit of a diva. I don't know if you knew this
I
about
did
him.
mess everything up because I'm on the road and I thought I'd be later, but I'm earlier because I'm always
You're on the
early.
road. You're traveling and you're staying in a suite like that.
Yeah, well, this is one of my locations that I have a home in Amarillo, Texas, home of the armadillo, I think.
Can we talk a little bit about the extreme flooding that's about to hit Vegas as you drive into it?
It says it seems like it's not that bad at the moment from what I've heard, because there was
Okay.
a lot of articles on the Las Vegas Review yesterday, like 2 days ago, and there's hardly any today. So I think we're good. I hope.
Okay. Maybe the
I hope.
storm it could be like one of those Florida hurricanes that they stress you out about for like a week and a half and then it just doesn't come. It just
Yeah,
nothing
and when you
happens.
guys get a hurricane, does like what happens? Do you have like alligators that are like on the streets? Is Hulk
Yes.
Hogan just like running up and down the boulevard, just yelling at people? Like what happens?
30% of all hurricane deaths are alligator caused. That's a
true.
statistic I just made
That's
up.
a statistic. It's from
Yeah, I
that was
just
from the
made that
Better
statistic
Business
up.
Bureau. It's
Yes.
a great statistic.
Yeah, and it actually lines up with your credit score, and you can get that at freecreditreport.com.
Oh yeah, man.
Remember that time the guy
I no longer
released-
have a negative credit score, which is amazing.
Oh,
I'm in
hey,
even
that's something.
just a hair under 100.
Remember that time the guy, and it wasn't Free Credit Report, it was some other website, but he was like putting his social security number on the side of the big box truck and saying, life secure or whatever, use this, and I'm not even scared sharing my social security number with everyone, and then he got hacked like 8,000 times. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that guy was a dummy.
He was not very
Pardon my
bright.
French.
Dummy is not French, it's German.
It is. It's
You know nothing about foreign languages. Anyway, so the show without Kevin, I mean, this is like the olden days. He'll be here, guys. Don't leave.
Yeah,
I know
this
you're
is like
clicking
the
off.
old days.
He's
Remember
coming.
we were talking about how Dune was amazing back then, and we're almost ready for the next Dune. That's how
Yeah.
long it's been.
Well, listen. So normally we start the show at 9:30, right? Yeah, 9:30.
Yeah.
Carrie and I, were in here at 9:30. Now, mind you, Kevin may have been told it started at 10.
Yes,
But we
we
told
did
him
screw
it
up.
started now, like 10 minutes ago. So what could he be doing that he had to focus on that instead of, coming and
Let your
chatting with us?
imagination go wild, is
Yeah.
what I would say.
It could
What
be
is he doing?
shaving, it could be clipping, it could be dancing, it could be bathing. We don't know. He could be doing anything.
Do you think he escapes himself, or does he have a scaper?
I think, well, we know he manscapes. This was
Yes,
determined
that's
in
a
the
given.
last episode. This is a reselling podcast, by the way.
Yes, welcome,
reselling
guys.
podcast.
eBay, whatnot, and Bonanza.
And mostly banana that he
Mostly.
manscapes. Yeah, so
This is such a dumb podcast.
listen,
How do we
I
still have
actually-
people listening 3 minutes in?
Well, there were so many comments too about how immature and childly we are, and how
Yeah.
no one likes our inappropriate humor. Yet we keep doing it. We
Yeah,
keep doing
it's
it.
just we're kind of committed to the bit
Yeah,
at this point.
yeah.
We can't all of a sudden become Daily Refinement and then get kicked off eBay and talk about it. You know what I mean?
Dude, he makes so much money on his podcast.
so
Can we
rich.
talk about that? Let's all do
And
the
he's
math
tall.
aloud together. Patreon, what's it called? Daily Refinement Podcast?
Daily Refinement at patreon.com/
Well, you're a member. You're a member. So it's
am.
called the Reseller Nirvana Podcast with Tech and Sports. And you can't listen to it unless you become a patron. Which we really which we should consider. No, not really.
I did
We're not
subscribe to
providing
it.
any
You guys
value.
were mad at
We're
me.
not providing any value. And that is the difference. His show provides value and education, and we don't provide any of that. So it's
No,
very
there's
hard to charge
nothing
for
of
what we're doing
substance here, guys.
Yeah,
this
this
is
is garbage.
something to put on in the background while you pretend you're going to list, but you're actually watching TikTok at the same time as watching this. We all
This
know
is
what you're
mental
doing.
junk
We
food.
see you.
Yeah, it's mental junk food. It's mental junk food. And so it's not really like we can charge like the Reseller Nirvana podcast. But I just want you to do some basic math, okay? And Carrie, I know you're not a math magician, but
Nope.
his Patreon has 2,770 members. Okay? If he charged $1 for his Patreon, how much would he be earning per
It'd
month?
be about 500 a month based on my math.
No.
skills.
Your math is not great. 2,770 times
Yes.
1.
Yes, but you can see what he's charging. He's charging a minimum, I think, of 5 is his
minimum of
lowest tier.
$5.
So that is roughly $12,000 a month.
Oh my! It's
But he also has people paying
13,000
more. He has people paying more than 5.
Yeah, the most popular, it says the most popular is $34.99 a month.
Wow.
The most
Wow.
popular,
We are.
$34.99 a month.
I am
How much
trying
are they
desperately to
making?
get people to get motivated. Nobody even wants that. It's almost like it's
34.
worthless at this point. I feel like. I feel like there's not a demand.
Bro, I hold on. If it's $34.99 a month, if that, 27, if they all were signed up at that
That's
level,
$7 million.
no, it's not. It's $96,000 a month.
You know what you could
If
buy with
everyone was subscribed at that level.
You could rent a 1-bedroom house in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's true.
For
He
that
does
much
live
a
in
month,
California,
from what I've heard.
and I think he pays his staff and all that. He's got like a bunch of guests on there. I've never watched that show, but there's always like 50 different people on display. Are they all talking at once? That sounds exhausting.
It's like Bizarro. What's that show from back in the day where it was like where it was different squares and they had
Eureka's
celebrities
Castle.
on them?
Yeah, Eureka's Castle.
That was not Eureka's Castle.
Hollywood
it was like,
Squares.
Yeah, Hollywood. It's like Hollywood Squares, but you don't know who
Okay.
any of the people are, but Chris.
Ah, so and I've learned a little bit about Tekken sports from Mel.
Yeah.
She told me she went to his house. He is a real person, and
I thought he was just a gamer who played Tekken, which would make sense to me.
Was his name originated from Tekken? Guys, there's another podcast we're talking about, by the way. If you don't know, you can listen to it. It's better than ours, but it costs more money.
It's much better, but you got to pay.
It's not free. You got to pay for it. Pay to play. You get what you pay for. That's like what I like to hear.
That is true.
Do you know, Harold Tornado messaged and said, yo, I don't know if you knew this, but basically you can put ads every 1 minute in your YouTube videos, and YouTube will only show them when it deems it appropriate, right? It won't actually show them an ad every 1 minute. And he sent this link to this video that talks about how you can make way more money if you do this. Are you going to start doing this?
Yes, 100%. Thank you for reminding me.
Yes. Should we do it on the podcast?
Uh,
Oh, I love how he muted when he was going to contribute something useful, but he unplugged his mic. And basically what he's saying is, I'm all for more ads and, taking advantage of our viewer. That's my assumption. Oh, hi, Carrie. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you is the problem. So what's happening is, you're going to leave this on the podcast. Don't. You got to edit this out. It's not showing up like something's wrong with my headphones. And I don't know where the headphones you gave me went. I'm going to have to come back, dude. I'm sorry.
Now it's just me. And so now the podcast has really hit the next level. Hi, guys. I'm Dave. ADH Dave on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Oh, look, now it's going to be just Kevin. This is a great show. Kevin, we're live. We're already recording. Welcome to Trash to Cash, episode 90-something. He's not even hearing me. Turn your phone. I'm going to leave all this in. This is all good stuff.
I'm not even ready.
I just started recording by myself. See, now, Kevin, that I've seen your house, I have so much more context into where you're sitting.
Yeah.
I sat in that chair, and I know you're sitting on a little weird poofy thing for your hemorrhoids.
Poofy thing. Turner would say.
Hi, Turner. How's it going, bud? Happy holidays.
We've just lost so much retention. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I gotta put
There's a
this
holiday. Halloween's coming up.
Oh, yeah, but
He's like, yeah, but it's not. How you doing,
His
Kev?
birthday's coming up. Doing
Nice.
all right.
When's his birthday?
When's your birthday, Turner?
yes.
September 18th.
October 18th.
Did I get
Tell
the
me,
18th
tell
right?
me your birthday.
You're good.
Tell me your birthday.
My birthday is September 18th.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, I know it is.
But
Did
I
you
didn't
guess it
know
right?
that. I just
That's
totally
hilarious.
guessed.
He got
I'm
it
a
right.
mega mind. I'm an
It's pretty
absolute
funny.
genius. Well, my birthday is September 27th.
If
and
you
I
do say
think-
so yourself.
I think Brandon's birthday might be September 18th, which might be why
Yeah.
it was in my brain.
Yeah, maybe.
How you
Well,
doing, Kev?
I'm doing all right. I saw a comment the other day that said, I don't like Dave because he thinks he's smarter than Harry Tornado. That was a comment I read.
I don't know that I don't think I'm smarter than Harold Tornado. I think I'm equal smartness to Harold Tornado.
So I'm hearing my voice in the background, feedback a little bit, just FYI.
Okay. Let me see here. Is that better?
And here. Yeah, better.
Trash to Cash podcast, episode 90, take 2. I'm Dave, the
I'm on a
ADH
phone.
guy.
My phone might die at some point, so this is going to be good.
This is going to be our
Good.
best episode ever. I like
Ever.
how we go from like incredible audio and visual fidelity last week to just a garbage show this week. It couldn't
Can
be
you not
worse.
hear me? Is it that bad?
We can hear you fine. I
No,
mean,
it's fine.
You're
But-
quiet as Kevin, but I can turn you up, I think.
I do
Let me
think
see.
last week people people liked that we were all in the same place. They liked it. It's like a number one by far, I think. I think they liked it.
We're going to totally bring them back down to earth, though. We're going to totally bring them back down to earth.
It makes you realize that, like, just with a simple, move, a location change where Kevin and Carrie come down to Palm Coast, Florida, we could have, like, a legit top show.
I think it's more than just the fact we were together. It's the fact that they could actually hear me is why they stayed longer. Yeah.
Well, and despite Heather wants to live near a beach, Kevin. I just was at the beach.
On the beach.
I was just there 2 days ago. It's a 10-minute drive. Just get her a house out by the beach. Carrie,
there are sharks.
Another spot in the other direction
though.
With gators that you could live. So
I'm going to live with the gator people. I think I'm kind of more of a gator guy.
Now Carrie's way too loud for me. Just
now Carrie's way too.
That's
loud.
all right.
Okay.
Carrie's always way too
I'm
loud
adjusting it. I'm adjusting it, so that's fine. I just turned him down.
It's like
usually I turn him on, but now I'm turning him down.
That's the after hours. That's on the only.
That sound
feet.
better, Kev?
My wife wants.
I forgot to take the lid off.
Within golf cart driving distance. That's what she told me.
Dude, I will say, like, that whole segment, you just did that stupid golf cart thing with your hands, which is really cheesy. But it reminded me of last week when you were doing the hand motions and someone like animated it super slow-mo and it was like very...
I was not sharing that reel out.
Yeah, I didn't share that one either, but it did make me laugh.
I have so many...
It made me laugh.
I have a lot of videos of Kevin that he prohibits me from sharing. I have old creepy baby Kevin videos that he will not let me share.
Well, anyways, so it's, what is it, Sunday? I didn't even think we were going to record this thing tonight. Carrie, where are you?
Yeah, where are you?
I'm in Armadillo, Texas, the home of the armadillo. Yeah, Armadillo,
Did you get there by morning?
I'm assuming that's an old country reference that nobody under 80 will get. So yeah, sure.
I also didn't get it, Kevin.
Shout out Gene Autry, Audie Murphy, all the guys.
He's not a singer, but that's
hey, you went to the Grand Ole Opry. You went to the Grand Ole Opry.
I did.
Who did you see?
Eddie Montgomery was there, and I was thinking there's nobody under the age of like 80 that's named Eddie Montgomery, but come to find out he's part of Montgomery Gentry, and he's saying, "This is my town," but I heard that song before, so I kind of knew one song. So,
all right. Was it good? Was it a good experience?
I honestly really liked it. Yeah, it was fun. I liked how grand and old, but not old, but old.
Not the Opry
the
part?
whole Opry was. No, the Opry. I don't know what an Opry is.
Did you go to
Legally, I don't know. I didn't go to the Ryman, Kevin. I was there for one night, and I wasn't able to see 2 shows in one night like you. I have a budget.
Yeah, speaking of Everclear guy, how many concerts have you gone to this week, Kevin?
Just one.
My favorite thing was like Kevin was on Instagram bragging about how he was hip and with it because he saw an Everclear concert that hasn't had a relevant song in 25, and the lead singer's like 72. I love
He's 61.
He's really proud of his and his wife's friend who's like 8 years younger than him.
I know.
Like he's constantly sending pictures of this girl. He's like, she's my friend. She's my friend, and she's 27.
She tells me to send her pictures of you and Heather to us.
I like that.
I was calling Heather 27? Young, not you young.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a picture of Heather and her. You're not in the picture. You're the grandpa behind the camera.
You guys have created the stereotypes of me that I'm going to try to shatter. I'm going to try and break them all. So maybe Everclear was probably not the right one.
If you were trying to shatter the bad internet one, it's not going well for you tonight.
No. Everything looks
you
good.
Are pixel. Yeah, you're in a solid 120p right now, which is amazing.
You know what? Your audio is good though, and that's what matters in a podcast. So I'm not gonna fuss about
it. Just roll Rocky
Top
video. Roll that.
Dude, what? Can we talk about Rocky Top?
Yeah, it's over, guys.
It's gone down.
Fiasco.
There has been drama. Oh my gosh, there has been so much drama in the podcast world, Kevin.
Oh my
gosh! Before you started, me and Carrie did 10 minutes of show, just so you know, and we talked a lot about how much money that a daily refinement's making. That was an interesting conversation. Go back and watch it sometime. But speaking of podcasts that aren't making money, reseller clickbait podcasts.
Yeah.
They don't even have videos.
They're gone, Kevin. They're wiped off the face of the planet. I know it's my favorite podcast, dude. They're literally
Jimmy and a whatnot tonight.
Well, they're alive. I'm not saying they're dead.
He can still appear places.
They
Kevin.
still exist, Kevin.
We're beyond our channels. We're actually human beings, my friend. We're
Kevin-
orbs of light that spread throughout the universe. You know this.
Well, anyways, the dead spirit of Jimmy may still be in Whatnots, but he's dead.
Somebody
And-
is spending his money on whatnot. Is what
Okay,
we're
so
trying to say.
Carrie, you have to admit that it certainly felt like we may have caused this.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I feel like we caused this because we were
You
kind
Broke
of
up
mean-
two podcasts this week.
Way
It's
too
amazing.
much credit.
we felt okay. So we didn't break up, but no, I asked Ken and I asked Jimmy both separately. Both of them confirmed it had nothing to do with us. They enjoyed us joking around.
No, okay.
So even though we made some jokes last week, I was worried they went away because of us. And I did. I even told them. I said, "You were my favorite reselling podcast." No offense to the other reselling podcasts, but they are my second favorite after ours. Well, actually, I like Triple Thrift better, but they don't record. So they're
Yes,
right
man.
after Triple
They got a
Thrift
new
for me.
episode coming though.
Let's do lunch.
2028
You
March.
just got
Let's do lunch
crushed.
is right under that. It's right under that.
Yeah.
Flippin'
when I wanna
Fantastic
do
might be
lunch,
above
I
Let's Do
listen.
Lunch. Flippin' Fantastic,
jeez,
Let's
yeah.
Do Lunch. It's head to head. I don't know. They're both
So I
really
take
good.
it you won't be appearing on their anniversary episode. Let's do
No, I
lunch?
told them for a fee. I'm willing.
I like
I'm willing.
I like the Grumpier Old Ben podcast. That's one of my
Yes,
favorite
yes.
reselling ones.
And I really enjoyed Rocky Tops, but he's off the show.
Yes. Rocky
He's
Top
off the show. He's
after
changed.
3 episodes. They went 3 whole episodes
fired
before
him.
Rocky Top was like, I'm going
He
a
jumped the
different
shark.
way. He jumped the
Basically,
shark.
from what I understand, Rocky
That's
Top
more
said,
than Let's Do
I'm
Lunch.
too good for you, Trading Post picker. I'm too good for you, other guy whose name I don't know. I'm
Don.
running off Don.
I am the Don of this show. Don is the me of that show.
So, and Kevin was the
think.
Rocky Top. I was Trading Post? I guess I was
You're
Trading
trading post.
Post. Okay. Well, anyways.
Oh, he's got light. Look
Rocky
at that.
Rocky Top has left the show, and honestly, if I had any forethought, I would have invited him to wait in our weight room and popped him into our show in Kevin's place.
know.
But I didn't think of that. That would have been
Yeah.
brilliant.
Just so you say
Yeah,
the
he just got a
podcast
good
is over
mic.
for them.
He's just got a good microphone. Like, he sounded fantastic in the last episode.
Well, maybe he should take my spot on here and just I'll get the heck out of here.
Dude, this
That's
show
good.
would be so freaking good if you two were technically capable of anything. Literally anything. And the show
Dude,
would
I'm
be
on
10
the
times
road,
better.
man. I'm
You're-
unlike you, pleasantly at your house. I'm in a dirty swamp place in Texas. No offense to people from Amarillo. Did I just offend?
You offended all
Actually,
Texans.
I'm
who
just
watch the
joking.
show.
I'm just joking. I don't even know if there's swamps here. I'm just playing.
Have I ever told
like
you-
Amarillo. I've been here like 3 times now. 3 times. 3
Dear
whole
Amarillo
times.
people, this is a fake apology. Get offended.
Have I
I
ever
just
told
was
you the
trying to
story?
make a joke.
Tell
Carrie,
us the story, Kevin.
I got to tell you a story. So it wasn't Amarillo, but it was Oklahoma City, and I pulled into
Yeah, I
this
was there.
dumpy hotel. Yeah, I pulled into a dumpy hotel. And
Oh.
I'm like, gosh, I had this is back when I was in college. I had no money. I pulled into this hotel and I got the hotel room and there's a light, like on Seinfeld, the flashing light that's going on. It was Kenny Rogers Roasters. And
Oh,
there's
I
a
missed
light,
that place.
and so I open up this window and I see this blinking light and it says midget strippers, one night only.
Okay. This is
That's
going
the
places.
blinking light.
I am listening to this
That's
story.
my story. No, that's it. I didn't go.
That's it?
Sorry. It wasn't like Twin Peaks.
Oh.
I stayed in the room
I
for sure.
Okay, so I zoned out, but Carrie,
Yeah,
please
no
respond
Dude,
to
he
whatever
said he went to a midget stripper show in Oklahoma City.
That all
and he-
seems par for the course for
That is
Kevin.
so
So
nice.
I
Yeah,
don't.
I've
it
seen
doesn't seem
so-
surprising.
I've seen so many inappropriate things in the presence of Kevin that
Yeah.
nothing surprises me.
Yeah,
I'm
remember when
gonna-
he took us to that nudie show in Vegas?
Yeah. Yeah, they were speaking of.
Mm.
Yeah, they were no pants and no tops.
No, oh God.
Wait, hold on. Okay, Carrie, let's talk about Vegas for a minute because we kind of started touching on it, and I want to get back to it. It's about to flood, but there's like
Yes.
thousands of people living underground there. So what are they doing about the underground people in Vegas?
Well,
It's a serious
San
question.
Francisco.
I honestly don't know. That would be up to the city planning commission, which you might want to contact. I'm not sure. I honestly don't know.
So call the local government.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll go above. I mean, I've never seen the people, or I'm honestly not even sure where that is, and I live in Vegas, but I keep hearing about it. All I know is that the hotels don't seem capable of stopping water from coming in, because last year we went on this trip and like a couple of the casinos flooded with just light rain. So if there's a lot of rain, it's not gonna. Vegas is
Mikey-
not set up for rain.
Mikey
It's set
should
up
do a
for
little walkabout.
gambling and strippers. That's what it's set up for.
So, speaking of strippers, let's talk about that for a minute. Kevin, when you first started stripping, how long did it take to start earning money?
Bonanza. We should talk about Bonanza sales.
He left the show. No, okay, so Brandon just did his first Whatnot. CVA
Yes.
Thrift just did his first Whatnot. You were in there, you were pity bidding. You accidentally spent some money.
You didn't even bid, so shut
I
up,
didn't.
dude.
No, well, I'm
went to
saying
your
you did a
dearest-
good thing.
Your dearest, sweetest old friend, your dearest and sweetest, one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life, Brandon and Jen. You wouldn't even give them a bid. You wouldn't even take a little money out of your coffer.
He's good. This is good. This means
Kevin
Dave
knows why.
has some discipline. Yeah,
Kevin
he
knows
won't pay
why.
me.
But it's your friend,
I
though.
can't even pay Kevin for the podcast. I'm so broke right now, Carrie. I am learning about the broke life, and it's just
Oh,
very
welcome.
interesting to me. And I told Tina. Tina's like, Dave, why
Wait a
aren't you
minute.
bidding? I said, honey, we can't afford to bid right now. I'm
And
sorry.
she fell over. She's like,
And
what?
she
Who
was
is
bidding
this?
anyways. Yes, she was still bidding. But it is a little different. She was bidding from our personal account, like our fun money, and I would have to bid from like OPEX. And my OPEX is at like $300 right now. I'm very broke in the OPEX. I can't even pay Kevin his $400. So I spent a
Well, let me
lot of
tell you,
money on my
I
travel.
will take this Whatnot. I want to have this conversation. I like this, Dave. But I want to talk some reselling. But since you brought up Whatnot, I want to ask you a question because you saw his first show tonight.
Yeah.
And I watched 3 or 4 shows tonight as well. I watched, and did you see Harry Tornado did a whole giveaway show?
Yes,
Did you see that?
1,800 people in there.
Yeah, there's 1,900 at one point.
I really wanted
It was
him to
crazy.
rate someone with 1 viewer. I don't know if he did it though, because my attention span.
He rated Ray, Nashville Flip.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so one viewer. Yeah.
Yeah.
no, oh jeez.
Just kidding.
Oh,
he
my
bought
God.
me dinner or lunch or dinner this week. Ray's a lovely man.
He is. He's a good man. He's not lovely.
I just
Ray?
like to be. Look, I'm just trying to expand my vocabulary, Kevin. I'm not just saying country things anymore. Okay, I wanna be a little bit more professor.
Speaking of country, you kind of just ripped me out. Commonwealth country? Really? The whole
Yeah.
video is you. I wasn't even picking in half the
No,
video.
it's
and
okay.
you put
I
that
just
in there.
needed. Here's the thing. I just needed your name. Look, the reason why I did Commonwealth Country is literally I had deleted like a lot of my old footage, and that was the only part of footage I had for my screen grab. And we talked about your cabin for like 3 minutes, so I'm like, oh, that's good enough. So I felt comfortable with that.
It was good. I liked it.
You and Rocky Top are heavily involved in the next video, so you'll.
Well,
feel,
since
you'll feel
I
good
have
about
these
that.
Whatnot experts here, what if
Yes.
we've talked about this before, and I want to talk about it again because the one thing at FlipCon,
Start
everybody
everything
rushed
at
to
$1
this
free shipping.
Seriously
That's
though,
the key.
this whole giveaway thing got me thinking, and then I watched a couple of other shows, and some of these people have, some YouTube followings and some social media, and then of course Brandon and Jen have a small one, but they only had 8 or 9 people in that show. 9,
Oh, but
10.
they were delighted with that show.
Yeah, they had
Yeah,
fun. I could
thought
tell they were
did
digging it.
okay. This is my
Yeah.
point. So there was only a few people in there, but they were putting up items that people would want.
Yes, good
items that
it was good
yeah,
items.
they weren't like crazy good, but
Yeah.
they were like
They were
you
fun.
could have sold some of that stuff
Fireworks.
on eBay.
There was fireworks. There were banned books.
Adult magazines.
Adult
No,
magazines. That's the
come
that's the
on.
trifecta. That's the Whatnot trifecta in the business.
But
Droogs?
my point, I'm thinking about this going into Christmas, and I'm thinking, people, if they have an excuse to buy something, if they see something and they're like, oh, I could get that for somebody for Christmas, or I could put it in a stocking. I think, we don't talk about Q4 on Whatnot, but I think it's something real if you're putting out good stuff. If you're a reseller selling to a reselling audience, and you're putting, which a lot of YouTubers have a reselling audience, and you're putting your castaways on there, you're not going to sell any.
Yeah.
Let's-
No, I agree
let's
with
See
that.
way too much.
And we should be clear, like they were selling plush, and the plush they were selling, it was like Mario, Pokemon. It was pop culture fun plush that like even I'm looking at, I'm like, oh, I'd like to have that. I'd like to have that. Like
Yeah.
people have, if you just run like a little plushie like this little hedgehog thingy for $2, like no one's gonna bid on it. It's not very exciting. And I'm to the point now.
Did you bring
where,
that up on purpose because my hedgehog died, Dave? That's pretty cold.
Oh my gosh, the
Oh,
hedgehog
what? Really?
died?
Yeah,
That
thanks
poison
for
I put
watching
in
my
the cage
content.
worked out.
Sal is no longer. He's
I'm
assumed
sorry,
room temperature.
Reagan. Okay, that was her
Yeah,
hedgehog,
yeah, it
wasn't
was
it?
tough. They took him to
Yeah.
the vet, and he had
sucks.
you'll like this wobbly
There's like-
hedgehog syndrome is what he had.
What?
Yeah, his
that-
arms.
Wait,
became
so just
paralyzed
every
one by
normal
one.
vet
That's-
knows about hedgehog
That's
syndrome?
not
No,
like a
it was an
level. That's not a
exotic
level
pet.
on Sonic.
Oh man, can you imagine that Sonic movie? It's like friggin' A Walk to Remember or 5 Feet Apart. It's just Sonic dying.
This is where Dave goes.
There's no way to
With this.
segue out of this smoothly, Dave. We're going to have to just do a hard pivot. Kevin brought the whole vibe down.
What have you sold
The
on
whole
eBay?
vibe down.
What are you talking about? I'm really loving this fake movie we're creating of Sonic's death.
Yeah.
And I want it to be like he's a singer, okay? Like Walk to Remember style, right? Mandy Moore. That was a great film. And that guy who was on it, I don't remember his name. Maybe
Chet,
a little Efron.
Yeah,
Efron and
like
Vanessa Hudgens, like High School Musical style.
Weird face Efron.
Yeah. Dude, he ended up getting quite the abs, by the way. I just watched that movie, Dirty Grandpa. Have you seen that one? Dude,
no. Kevin made a movie?
Yeah, Kevin was actually the star. And you get a lot of Efron butt, if that's your thing. Check that film out, Carrie. Just, word to the wise. Word to the wise.
I sold some rollerblades. I haven't sold rollerblades in like 10 years.
I did, dude. I just sold someone Whatnot for $2 at FlipCon.
$2.
It was quite disappointing, remember?
Yeah, seriously. I sold them for, there you go. There's your Whatnot deal. $45.
Here's a real bolo.
For a pair of
just sell one rollerblade because sometimes people need replacements.
1 foot rollerblader.
Yeah. I had so my sales are really, really down. I mean, it could be the not listing while traveling for 2 weeks. That could be part of it.
I haven't had a sale in 3
your
weeks.
Your store's over.
My store, I don't even know if it's still on or if it's still a thing. I haven't even logged in. So, no, I've checked.
Carrie's
it's fine. I'm actually going to open it back up tomorrow. I think I'm going to open it back up tomorrow. I have a few things that I've listed periodically to, that are in, what do you call it, in the drafts? A draft bank, as a Daily Refinement would call it legally. A draft bank. So I'll put out a few of those.
Mel was telling me that he advises people to do 40 listings a day. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the Daily Refinement?
Something like that,
like you've listened to their show, Carrie.
And
what would they tell a new reseller? Let's bring that over here.
Selling, man.
Do you want me to just try to do their podcast here
do
for
their
free
podcast.
for the
You've
people?
Listened to it. That's what I'm saying. Like, let's just do it, and then people
let's
don't have to pay their Patreon.
Well, I gotta do their signature opening.
Just
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
You ready for this? Daily Refinement here, guys, with Tekken Sports. Say hi, Tekken.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, guys.
Tekken.
Hey, guys. eBay, Bonanza, Amazon, and whatnot. There's so many ways under the sun to make Poshmark. Sure, why not? Yeah. I'm currently selling out of a storage unit.
Doing a good job.
I've never seen.
I have no idea. No, he's much more
I,
reserved. But his show's great. I really do like his podcast, honestly. If you want serious reselling talk, which Kevin desperately wants.
I do. I had the tattooed reseller ask me a question. I did a recording with him down there, and he's like, what advice would you give new resellers? And that's so hard. And you don't care about this, but if you're asked about reselling, it depends on the person.
Quit.
How much money do you want? Is it full time? No, don't quit.
Get a job.
Do not quit.
Quit immediately and get a day job at Target.
Get a real job.
Let me ask you a serious question.
Humanly possible.
Dave, I already know the answers to this. Would you be able to make it without social media? Would you quit your job?
No, I never would because it wasn't consistent enough for me. And I like security.
The way we resell. Now, the way maybe Daily Refinement resells, maybe that's a different story, or somebody,
Well, there's always the question of, like, what happens if you put 60 hours a week only into reselling, 70 hours a week. True. Like, then I maybe could pay all my bills and stuff.
Covered that
which
a few
I don't
weeks.
do.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have
as
extra.
As a fake reseller,
it wouldn't be enough for you.
You, as a fellow fake reseller, at least that's the news that's out there in the social verse, that you're a fake reseller.
Did you see the video I did?
I saw the thumbnail, and I actively chose not to watch it.
Well, you're one of the few. That's the number one.
Yeah, it's just the quality's going down.
I like to do number twos.
Actually, I think
I like the fives, the number fives, because they're creative.
Kevin's internet just died, but I gotta be honest, Carrie. You ever record a video? You ever record a video and afterwards you're like, this wasn't a very good episode, but anyways. Yeah, that's the worst. I hate it. You're like, this can't be it. There's nothing here. And I literally in my latest Flipper video at the end of it, I was like, guys, you ever heard of a slice of life film? Like Garden State, the one about New Jersey. This New Jersey guy just does some stuff and it's over, and you're like, what was that about? That was this episode of ADHD Flips. Nothing happened. Yeah, it just was a moment of my life. I'm sorry for wasting your time.
Let's talk Garden State.
I hated that film.
No, well, I liked it at the time, but I was much younger when that came out. But Garden Life or Garden State was very much a vibe. It was a vibe movie. It was all about the music and the vibe of it. So a lot you can get by a lot is what I'm saying. You can get by a couple episodes where it's just you being you. That's good enough sometimes when you don't have anything special to talk about.
Little Miss Sunshine? I think that movie would qualify for that. And even Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
A slice of life as well. Kevin, so I like this idea of like a piece of advice in each episode, right? So what's your advice to the new reseller?
Advice from Dave.
Well, I've got a piece of advice. It's not reselling related, but I do have a piece of advice. So if you have a 9-year-old, 9-year-old's not feeling good, right? Earache, really bad swimmer's ear. And she comes to you at 11 p.m. and she says, Dad, I don't feel good. My ear really hurts. Can I have some medicine? And then you proceed to ask her when the last time Mom gave her medicine was. Don't believe her answer because you'll be on the phone with poison control. Because apparently my daughter may have stretched I said, when did you last have medicine? She's like, a long time ago. And I said, how long ago? She's like, long time. I said, before or after pizza? Because pizza was dinner. That was like 5 or 6. She's like right after pizza. Right? So it's like 5 o'clock, right? And it's now like 11, 12 o'clock almost. And then, I give her more Motrin, I think 3 of them, because she was in really bad pain. I was trying to help her out, and she does an adult dose because of her size and stuff. And so I give her 3 Motrins, which is like what I take when I have a really bad headache or something. And then go into the bedroom, and she's like, she was in there talking to me, and Tina wakes up. She's like, why is she out of bed? I said, she's not feeling good. I had to give her Motrin. She's like, I just gave her 3 30 minutes ago.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
And I'm like, she said she had it right after pizza. She's like, it felt like a long time ago, and she started crying. And then I'm on the phone with poison control. So my advice is don't trust your 9-year-old for medication advice. And she's fine. She's fine. Yeah. Poison control says it's not a big deal. How about give her some bread to soak it up, and she'd be fine. That's exactly. I should have woken up Tina and asked her. I was trying not to wake her up, but I should have just woken her up and asked her.
You were trying to be nice. I thought this was, by the way, a piece of advice for reselling. That's my advice. I forgot who I was talking to.
Keeping your kid alive is part of my advice for the week, okay? Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Very true.
All right, what's your reselling-based advice, Carrie?
Okay, good.
Travel across the nation, finding just, stuff to flip online and make content about.
And then just leave the stuff at Brandon's house, because you don't have room.
We did leave a little bit of Brandon,
sell
but
it on my whatnot.
That is honestly my reselling advice of the week. Figure out a way to finagle yourself into Kevin's life, and his auctions. I can't tell you how much money I made on his auction. I was throwing up like just half-eaten Pop-Tarts, $30. It was just like a money printing machine. It was amazing.
Crazy.
Get into Kevin's life one way or another. Become his friend. Befriend him. He needs friends. He's a lonely man.
Speaking of getting in my life, Death Pile Picker hit 1,000 subscribers, y'all.
Okay, hold on. I got him to like 960. I got him to like 960. So you got him the extra 40
over the top.
And no one's gonna watch his videos anyways.
No, I watch
anything is possible, guys.
I'm trying to trigger him.
He did a wonderful video about a local reseller that he bundled up some cards for that gentleman, and I think the gentleman was attractive.
You never paid me rent for using my shed for that thing either.
That's not how it works. We have to have a contract before, and I didn't sign anything on purpose.
I could have rented it out to you.
Good luck enforcing that.
Listen, I could have rented it out to you, taken the money, and wrote that off, and then rented it out to myself, wrote it off, and then given you the money back. That's how it could have done.
This is Kevin's 40 chests of tax evasion.
You can
subscribe to his Patreon for all the tax evasion advice.
You can rent your place out to yourself, Dave. You should be doing that. Every time you do a Whatnot show, rent a space. Do it somewhere else where you wouldn't do it. I'm just saying. Mike stayed the night here. You don't think I wrote all that off? I'm like, hey.
I know you wrote it all off. Somehow you wrote off your tattoo. Because it's in the content, right? This is a content tattoo.
It is,
All the bracelets are paid for.
Dude, there's so many bracelets. It's like you think it's like 2004 or something.
I got 2 down at FlipCon. So I feel like
Can you tell me a little bit?
I've been wearing a
bracelet. Let's do a little bit of an ad. Guys. We're going to do a little bit of an ad about Isaiah House or whatever in Lynchburg. Because I gave my son the bracelet and he asked me what it was and I said, I don't know. And so maybe you could just tell
I don't know what it is either.
Talk about it all the time. Maybe just tell us what the heck it is.
Maybe you could listen. It was started in Tennessee, and it's a place for foster kids. When they're going to the system, they go into a government building and wait to be placed, and sometimes that takes hours or days to do the placement. And so they decided they would create a place so that during the process, the kids would have an actual home with toys, video games, whatever, to stay for a couple hours or more, even overnight. And so that's what it is. And there's one here in Lynchburg. There's tons of them all over the country. So there you go.
Ah, okay. So it's literally a house, like a landing pad.
Yeah.
An intermediate type of house, and when you donate
Let
to
me
it,
tell
it
you,
helps provide it with cool
We
stuff.
sell these out like crazy. We buy
I
them
had a
from them
really-
and sell them like crazy and whatnot.
And do you have any
I had a
proof you're
really-
actually donating that money?
Yeah, actually, I had it on a video. Jenna, you got some proof for me out there? I put it on a video. I'm gonna go back every time I go to these places. I did it with
I'm
Blessing
kidding.
Place. Well,
I'm
hey,
kidding.
listen, I got to do that.
Troll's
St.
got a
Jude
troll.
auction.
Troll's got a troll.
And can you imagine how much that St. Jude auction is going to be writing that check? That's going to be a lot of money too.
Yeah.
And Carrie gave me something for that September 30th.
I gave you
Whatnot link
something.
over on my
It's
channel.
got a pre-bid. The thing I
gave you
got a
something.
pre-bid.
I gave you
Yeah.
what we call in the business
Dave-
an easy shipper. It was
Yeah,
a glass
right.
ball
Thank you.
filled with water.
Yeah, thanks.
Disney.
Dave gave
Disney.
me a toy that doesn't even work. I pulled it and it goes.
Classic
Well,
Dave.
none of those old pull toys really work that well. They kind of work. That thing still sells pretty good on eBay, and
Yeah.
it's cool. That was like my favorite toy. One of my favorite toys in my collection.
So there's a suggestion for you, and somebody asked this. I think Daily Refinement asked it to Paul Philly Flipper. I think is where I saw it. What would you what do you do when you're buying, or what makes you successful on what now? What type of item? And I think he hit the nail on the head when he said, hey, it's something that people get excited about. Dave mentioned it. You can't just go on there and sell just the stuff that would sell on eBay. It has to be pop culture, media. It has to be something that people have a reaction to when they see it, as opposed to something that has value even.
Yeah, totally true. Like for my plush auctions regularly, and this is some whatnot advice. Listen for a second, guys.
Yeah,
I
business
will
talk,
regularly
folks.
run some plush that sell for like 15
Regular.
to $20, but they're kind of boring.
Levels.
And they won't sell.
Mm-hmm.
They won't sell. Like
They
Carrie,
won't
a good
even sell,
example is an
guys.
Aurora Mione. Those like special,
Yeah.
like artisanal
Yeah.
Aurora plush that sell for like 15 to
Artisanal.
$20. They're nice. They're premium brand. It's like their Lambo
Premium.
brand, and people won't bid $2 on them. But I throw up
100%.
a Mario that's worth $2 and I'll sell it for $12. And it's just because people, they have a reaction, like Kevin said, and that's, I think that is
think
really
that's
good
right.
advice, right? Especially
But,
if you're new, just focus on fun things that people will want.
I do
Totally
want
agree.
to mention something interesting about doing a podcast in a hotel room with Dawn. Dawn is so addicted to TikTok that I took her headphones away to do this. She's in the bathroom watching TikToks. That's how addicted she is.
Isn't that where most TikToks are watched, though? I mean,
That
that
is
doesn't
true,
sound
but
that
I don't-
abnormal.
No, I just think she's
What'd you
just
guys eat for
hanging
dinner? Did
out
you go to
there.
Taco Bell?
Dude, we went to the cheesecake factory. It's a factory that makes cheesecake.
Oh, that's where I ate like every night I was in mainland China. Like the first 10 days I was in mainland China for work, I was eating all these horrible foods. Like they take you to all these fancy restaurants. There's a giant Lazy Susan. All right, so if you've ever been to mainland China, everything
Are
started off
you
Lazy
the one
Susan.
that
It just
brought
spins around.
COVID back?
It was around that time actually, but
Probably
but
was,
So
but
like,
the-
there's
did you
these
have
giant
any bat for dinner?
Lazy Susans, and they put all these different foods. And like the first food has like a chicken's foot in it. The next food has like a duck's eyeball, and it's like all this horribly disturbing food. There's most people like it, but I'm very picky. Okay, so I'm a very picky eater. Like, I
Dave's
want
picky.
some pizza and some chicken nuggets and some French fries, and they're giving me like really things I don't want to eat. Like they take me out and they literally buy a fried chicken foot and eat the like fry off of it, and I'm just like I'm not into that. And so like the whole time I'm in China, I'm like, have you ever seen that Seinfeld episode where they're like, Jerry's like putting the mutton into the napkin and then putting the napkins in his pocket, and it was like the Mama's
Let me
napkins or whatever.
let me
That was
interpret
me in
that
China.
for Kevin. Do you remember that Three Stooges episode? Remember where Larry, Moe, and Curly?
that's
They're
I
like,
was going
"Pop."
to a Christmas story with the duck, and they would lop the head off the duck.
I'm not kidding. Every restaurant we left, there'd be napkins full of food under my chair. I'm that guy. I'm that guy.
I don't feel like your American palate would do well anywhere outside of America. Like you need to have
No,
your
you're right.
flaming hot
I don't like
Cheetos
anything.
on a hamburger. Where every
Actually, that's
time I
not
go
true,
out of
Carrie.
the-
Hold on. I loved Japan's food. I love
did?
Japan's food. Yes, Japan has very good food.
They call it
and
Japanese
it's mostly
food.
steak. It's mostly steak.
The hibachi grill, the Kobe
yeah,
snake,
the hibachi.
steak.
Every Kobe place I went, I was on the company dime, so the most expensive Kobe steaks.
Lots of Kobe steak.
Were
Yeah.
consumed. But okay,
You can
so I was
tell your
saying
boy
all
to.
that.
Oh, all right.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No.
Tell
I
my
was
boy
going to
what.
say, well,
Bonanza.
you can tell your boy that I sold a Fantastic Beasts Niffler doll, and that's his
all
credit.
him. He's
$12
helping you
plus shipping.
provide for your family. You should send him a
Yeah.
thank you letter.
Yeah, maybe like a $5 bill or something. Just give him a little cash.
No, only $1 to save, $1 to earn.
Hey,
$1
speaking
to...
of cash, we talked about Harry Tornado. He's talking about all this free show, right? He'll probably comment down below, tell me I'm wrong. He did 100 free items, and they're tipping him like $50 tips. Like, he ain't doing nothing free. All these conversions he's getting, he's acting like he's doing it for free. All whatnot pays.
Well,
for all
he
the
was
free
doing
stuff.
free
He probably
international
made,
shipping, which is
100 grand
expensive.
on that deal. No, I know. I'm just teasing.
He was doing free international shipping, which is expensive.
that
but you
was-
are right. He is a monster.
I'm thinking about doing
I'm
a free
surprised.
show. I think I'm going to do a free show. He inspired me to do a free show. I think. I don't think I'm
did
doing
you
100
notice-
Free
items.
shows at the Mail
30
Review.
items.
Yeah, do you notice the wordage he used? He said he's thinking about it, which means he's definitely not going to do it. But he would
Hey.
like the credit for it.
Dave, this reminded me of you. I went to a
What
yard
was I
sale
gonna-
the
I
other
never
day.
finished my China story, but I've
Nah,
lost
just
the
nobody
thread now.
cares.
I've lost the
Nobody's-
thread. Okay,
Nobody's
go.
tired today. So I went to a yard sale and I had nothing but ones with me. And the guy, he's like, "Oh, I love ones." And he's like, "I'm gonna take them to the strip joint later." And I'm like, Dave would like this yard sale.
Yeah, you had a Saturday night problem at Saturday morning. You got to be careful. You got to take larger bills.
Speaking of
Yes.
yard sales, Carrie, guess what I found this week?
What'd you find? Cards, sports cards.
A box of Anna Lee dolls.
Oh man, how much
Did
did
you
they
pay
want?
$800 like they wanted at the estate sale?
They wanted $5 each, and they wanted $10 for a pair. And so, I didn't know this, but I gave it to my dad.
Did they want
I saw the box.
$15 for 3 of them?
So, at any rate, I gave it to my dad. I'm like, go see how much they want for this. And he came back. I'm like, that stinks because there's a box full of them. And I saw an Enaman, which I haven't found in years, of course, in the wild. And I put an Enaman in there and piled a bunch of other stuff in there and took them a box. I think there's 11 Annalise. And I said,
Oh, so the
$50.
Annalise were hidden. That's smart.
Yeah.
That's sneaky.
Well, they weren't hidden.
Yeah.
I
You're a
mean,
monster.
you could see.
Is it
but I
right?
got $50 for the whole box.
Seems wrong.
No, there
50 for
wasn't
the whole
nothing
box,
wrong
and how
with
many
this.
pieces were in there?
Well, I got an Enaman, y'all. So
Okay.
Yeah, so you
that's
could have
just
given him a little
$80
more
right
money.
the
there.
last
You could have
Enaman
given him a
sold
little more.
for what did the last Enaman sell for? $72. So I got another one to sell. So that covers it. But there was 11
should be-
Annalie dolls, I think.
Have you guys ever seen those like History Channel shows about like the making of Costco and like how they all started or how Walmart started and everything? I feel like there needs to be a History Channel show on how somehow you found a way to get rid of all these Inaman plushes that were
I did a
flooded
video.
somewhere.
I
No, but
did
like there
a video.
needs to be a
I'm like-
proper History Channel version of this.
Did-
With you as the bad guy.
Speaking of, did you give Josh the connection for the plush dolls?
Probably, yeah.
Did you do that,
Probably.
Dave? Yeah,
Yeah.
What the heck? Now he's selling Moe's
I
Kurdo
got the connection
toys.
for you. I own the connection. If anyone wants
You got
the
that connection
message
for me?
It costs a little.
I did.
No.
You
I
don't
got-
remember
wait
that?
a
There's
minute,
literally
I'm
a video of
confused.
you saying Dave is the one who found the Kurdo toy rep for me so that I could
Really?
buy more
Oh,
Enamans.
that's right. I take it all
Yeah,
back.
I literally own
you
this whole
have the
rep.
right to give away.
I have
That's
the right to
That's
give it
very
away,
good.
yes. Now,
Matter
I'm
of fact,
totally having
that's
a
how
little bit
you
of problems
wait a
right
minute.
now.
My memory's coming back to me. That is how
He's
you
interrupting
use,
me tonight, guys.
You
Just remember
use
that.
that.
So rude.
You, you
I'm
use
tired
that
of you doing this to Dave, Kevin.
to get in my
Just
orbit.
FYI.
I did
to
use that to
my
get in your orbit.
Yeah.
And dude, you are so
I don't
happy
do
I
that
did
stuff.
because
I just
I'm
call
literally the
people up.
best thing that ever happened to you. And you think
Hey,
about it every day.
Comment below if that's
Comment
true.
down below if I'm the best thing
I'm
that
in
ever
your
happened to Kevin.
orbit because you guys both attempted to use me.
That's true. That's true.
You're like,
But I'm
hey,
But I
still
feel
offended
like-
at
TikTok
that.
guy.
But I feel like at the end of the day, Carrie, I'm the better friend. So is Kevin Marco
Oh,
Polo?
well,
in you?
listen,
I don't think he
we've told
is.
this
Yeah,
story,
Kevin, are you
but
going
I'm
to
gonna
start
tell it
doing
again.
Marco Polo with us?
I
Because
called
Marco Polo's
Carrie.
the app sweeping the nation.
Yes.
Go ahead, sorry.
Marco Polo.
Come on, get on Marco
Not
Polo.
doing
with
Please,
us,
it's
guys.
fun.
So wait.
Me and
Fun.
Carrie
Waste of
only
time.
use the muscle voice, and
Yeah.
you sound like this.
Here's
Marco
our rule with
Polo.
Marco Polo too. You have to start every Marco
See,
Polo by saying Marco Polo.
Thank you,
have to
Hustle at
end
Home
it.
Mom, for
Do you
ruining
even
my
know who
everything.
life.
Marco Polo is, Dave?
Yes.
Yeah,
Little
he's
Yes,
the
history.
guy who
Marco
tried to
Polo.
steal the credit from Ponce de
Yeah.
Leon.
He plays
He's a
for
piece of crap.
he plays for AC Milan. He's
Not
like a
even the
defensive
same
back.
century. He went east, not west. He went
Yeah,
to
he
China.
went to
Marco
China.
Polo was an
He went to
Italian
China.
merchant, explorer, and writer from the Republic of Venice who traveled through Asia along the Silk Road
Asia,
between
see?
1271 and
Oh, I
1295.
The
I know
Mongol.
this.
Did you ever
If
see
you
the
want
Mongol
specifics.
show?
If you
Marco
want to
Polo?
get specific, he
people
died
don't
in
think he was
1324. He died in
Yeah.
1324. Hey, Russia
you believe
crashed
the
a
story.
ship into the moon. Is that a real thing that just happened? This isn't what the
Really?
show is about, but I just saw that on my feed here.
I just saw a video about a crystal pyramid underneath the Bermuda
Yeah.
Triangle.
Let's
It's
get
minute
let's
four-
get RVA
it's
thrifts on the
46
show.
minutes. No, it's 46 minutes in,
CVA
and we're
Flips,
into
what's his name?
conspiracy talk. Let's
CVA.
do
CVA
it.
Flips. What's the guy? No, the CVA guy who used to do reselling, Justin.
Oh,
RVA
RVA,
Flips.
and then he
RVA
changed his
Flips.
name to
Let's
like
get him on the show.
some weird like Beelzebub or something.
Hey, Thrift Mind made a video, guys. Thrift
Congratulations!
Mind. Hey, actually,
yeah.
no. This is what I was getting at. So, Thrift Mind, one of the first videos I watched, he actually triggered me. Like, before I was making content, I watch a video where he goes up to the sale. He's got his like IKEA bag, and he takes all these like Game Boy games, like a whole thing of them, and some DSs and stuff, and hides them underneath a bunch of cheap looking stuff.
Oof.
And he goes up to the seller, like. It seemed very intentional. It goes up to the seller, says how much for this whole bag, doesn't like really let her look in it, and she names the price. And I was the commenter.
Are you
one of the
saying-
commenters who literally said, "Dude, that wasn't super cool. You probably should have at least let her see what you were buying." I try to do a good job of like showing what I'm buying, so they know what they're giving me a price on. Unlike
Totally.
Kevin, who hides stuff under an anime.
That's not true. That's not true.
And hides
I
all the
showed the
Annalee
box.
dolls.
I
under
feel
there.
like you should have started the
dug
price
through
at
the box.
$72 out of ethics alone.
Yeah, now that you know you're gonna sell the one Animan, he's gonna close. It takes so long to turn off his camera, it loses its power.
He's trying to figure it out, guys.
There you
we
go.
There, he did it.
It kind of lost its power when it took that long,
I
but it was a
hate
good
both of
try.
you. I really hate both of you. I don't know why I do this. I'm gonna do a whole series on the myths of Carrie and Dave. People still like Carrie for some reason, but people are turning on Dave. I see it in my comments. They're
That's
seeing
fair.
it. Yeah.
They've been negative about
Dave
me,
has
but they're
changed.
negative all the way to the bank. They keep watching the videos, so I'm okay.
Speaking
with
of changing, immediately after Death Pile Picker hits 1,000, I could see a huge change in him. It's
Oh, yeah,
just
he's
got.
a
It's just
monster.
he changed.
Yeah.
It's changed.
So I talked to my son about the on granny thing. He said, "Dad, stop saying that. You sound so lame." He's like, "I've never heard anyone say on granny."
On
So-
Granny, seriously, you gotta stop, dude. On
Okay,
Granny,
so
man.
some context because I didn't even understand what it meant. Mike kept saying on ga, and then on
on
granny.
God. On God.
Well, I didn't realize that's what he was saying because he's got a mouthful of marbles.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I thought he was saying on ga, and so he was not. And my son told me that it's like you're so
I swear,
honest that
it's-
you're swearing it on
Yeah,
granny.
I
or
swear.
on-
It just means I
Yeah,
swear on
yeah,
my
yeah,
grandmother is what you're saying. Yeah.
And I keep saying to my son, "Dude, I'll tell him stuff. I'll be like on granny." He's like, "Dad, stop saying I on granny."
No, say it. Double it, and here, if you really want to connect with the kids, say this: double it and give it to the next person. They love that. That's a TikTok
That's like a
thing.
Jimmy Darts thing, yeah. Jimmy Darts
Yeah.
or Mr. Beast, they do, do you want this? Or you want me to double it and give it to the next person? Yeah. I've seen that happen. So let's talk about giving money to people who beg you for money in your immediate family every single day because they need food, but they're using it for drugs. What should we
Dave,
do?
wait, are you sure you should talk about this?
What are we? Why are we
Really?
talking about this?
I'm so glad
I'm
this
trying to
podcast
figure out how to
has started 10
respond to
minutes
these
before I
text
got on
messages
here.
I'm getting.
My gosh. What do you do? How about viewers? I get that a lot. And, they'll tell you their story and ask for money. That's happened a lot. It's tough. It's
So you're
tough to-
saying
I
all
mean,
your viewers are drug addicts? Is that what you're
all?
implying?
No, did I say all? I said I've seen emails. I didn't say all. Not
You see
drug addicts. they
Carrie,
don't-
you see Carrie yelling at Dawn? Why are you yelling at Dawn?
Yeah.
No, I'm
Turn down
my-
TikTok, Dawn.
No, I'm gonna have to because I'm gonna have to unplug and plug in my phone here in a second.
What
So,
percent are you at?
Like 5%
On
all
Granny?
right, I'm going to.
on Granny, dude. I might be able to make it, but just in case.
You're not
You're gonna
gonna
get some-
5%.
Yeah,
You need to figure
shoddy
something out.
audio, my friend. Shoddy
Yeah.
audio coming your
Okay,
way.
what were you gonna say?
I'm going to break some news to you that I did not tell you that's actually going to be out on my Flipper channel Monday, and this won't come out
Okay.
till Tuesday.
Good.
eBay sent me a message saying that they are investigating. I don't know what the comment. I gotta have to find it out. They are
Fraudulent activity.
reviewing my account.
Really? Fraudulent activity.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say fraudulent activity. They're reviewing my account, and they held my money from the time I left, before we were at FlipCon, through FlipCon, all this stuff was going on. I didn't mention it to anybody, but I'm putting it out in a video, and I don't want you to think I left you out, so I'm going to say it on here first. So.
But why? Why are they reviewing?
Yeah, why?
What's the deal?
Why?
You have to watch the video.
Is it because of like illegal activity with the?
Well,
enemy?
they gave you. It'll be on my video. No, but that's a good point. No.
Wait, why is that a good point?
They don't give you. I should probably.
If they're not going after you now, they certainly are.
I'm gonna read the message here. So give me a minute, y'all babble about the nonsense.
Okay,
So
well,
we
let's
can-
talk about our favorite Patreons. We have a group of
Yes,
select
I love
Patreons
them.
who just are
The
amazing.
best.
They're so
Simply
amazing.
the
They
best.
donate. They're wealthy as a Kevin, all right, and they donate at least
They got so much
$25 per
money.
month to keep our podcast alive, and they help us not charge you $5 like those monsters at Daily Refinement. We're actually giving it to you for free because of people like this willing to
we
help
care.
out. The number one person that we love the most is Lady Arbitrage.
Lady
$33 a month. Carrie
33.
can't even afford it, but she's
Done.
doing it anyway.
I don't know where the
Cancel
money's
that.
coming from. It's coming from her personal account or something. I don't know what's happening.
And then we have No Nose Picker, Soda City Flips.
Is that a real person?
Yeah, Soda City Flips. Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, it's-
no nose picker? What? Do they have no nose?
Canoes. No Canoes with a K.
Oh, canoes. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Remarkable Brian, which is dollar bills, y'all. Jay Thrifty,
Oh, okay.
Happy Hound Trading, Matt's Profit Pursuit, Harold Tornado, The Disgruntled Octopus, Travelin' Shopper, Superhero Headquarters, Vintage Sports Thrifts, Flips, Vintage Sports Flips, ABC Map, Brian Big and Fun, New Jersey Picker. Sorry, he says I don't ever say his
Speaking
name.
of, I
Ray
gotta say
Tech Resell,
something.
Logan, Marker, Parker County Picker, Biscuit Butt, and that is all. You guys are all amazing. Way better than anything Kevin was about to say. Okay,
All right,
Kevin,
I'm
go.
gonna read.
You're
Why are
our
you getting
best
banned on
friends.
eBay?
You're our
I'm
best
Commonwealth
friends.
Picker
Thank
banned
you.
on eBay. That's our
No,
title.
no.
Banned on
I
eBay.
actually thought about making that video, and I'm like, I don't want to make this video. I don't want to do
Not,
it. So
you're
I
gonna wait
waited
till you
a
really
little
get banned
longer.
in a couple months. I think
Yeah,
that's smart.
well, let me tell you. So, but first, let me say something about New Jersey Picker. Facebook.
Thankfully,
group.
you've invested all this time in Bonanza. It's going to pay off.
That's true. I had 3 Bonanza sales this month, Carrie. 2.
That's
This month-
insane.
Anyway,
This month, you said.
hey, it's free. So whatever, I'll take it.
All right, go ahead, New Jersey Picker.
Yeah,
Love Fest.
Facebook
Go.
group, 20,000 subscribers. Thank you, Chris, for
Thank
helping
you.
us out over there.
Are you
All right.
thankful enough to show up for his
Yeah.
premiere?
New
'Cause
Jersey
I showed
Picker.
up.
Go follow
I
his
showed
YouTube.
up.
He doesn't want money. I would offer to pay him, Dave, and whatever. He's like, I
Yeah.
don't want that. I want power in the Discord. I want a
He's a
bigger
money
name. I
hungry guy.
want to make Brian Big and Fun really mad. That's what he said.
That's true.
All right, here it is.
That's a good
We
goal.
wanted to let you know that because of some recent changes in your selling activity, we are reviewing your account to make it more secure, to make sure it's secure. There's nothing you need to do, but until we finish our review, you'll see a hold on your payouts. We understand the frustration, but the review helps us keep our marketplace safe for everybody. Review accounts for many different reasons. For example, if you're a new seller and don't have an established selling history, that's not me. If there's a big change in your selling patterns, or if you have an increase in customer service or late deliveries. That's the reason.
So which of these applies to you?
That's the question. You have to watch my video, but we'll review your account within
I'm
5
not
days.
going to watch your video.
Well,
Yeah.
I can't
Why do you
give it
want
up.
us to watch your video so bad?
We're just going to assume the
Just
worst
tease it, whatever,
is
I
what
don't
we
care.
prefer.
Okay.
We'll review
So
your account
stole from customers.
within
Got it.
5 days. That did not happen. And get back to you if you need anything else. If the review is successful, we'll end the hold on your accounts and be lifted. But it does say you're welcome to continue to buy and sell while
Aw,
we
how
review
nice
your
of 'em.
account.
So
Yeah.
that's why you've been begging me for the $400 because
Yes.
eBay's not paying you out and you're
Let me
struggling
tell
too.
you,
We are
they
the
owe me
broke
a lot of
podcast.
money.
Let's rename our podcast the Broke Resellers. I think that's Kevin's got no money, Carrie's got no money, I got no money. We're all broke.
Well, listen, I got
Actually,
this
Carrie's
in,
rich right now.
and it was
Talking to
5
Gary
days,
V.
6 days, 7 days, nothing. It went well beyond. I'm like, what the heck's going on? Could not contact eBay at all. And I talked to somebody I knew this happened to. It's not Chris, Daily Refinement, somebody else that you don't know. And they
He's been kicked
my
off
account
eBay,
got
guys.
banned, totally banned. I'm like, geez, oh. And it got me scared. And there's something else that happened too. At the same time I got this message from eBay, within well, I don't know exact time, they delisted one of my items, but they never said why. It was a pair of Bathing Ape shoes. And they delisted it. They took it from active to sold at the crack of dawn, long before I get up. And I'm like, what's going on
Which
here?
we've
Still
learned is
have never found
11:30.
Yeah, you made me. You
That's
made me
so
feel
not
bad
true.
all this time. For years, you've made me feel bad, and you're worse than me.
It's
No way,
crazy
dude.
how lazy
Oh,
Kevin
you're
is.
crazy. Oh my
It is
god.
bonanza.
Hey,
It's
guys.
either okay. It is either
Bananas.
he's super lazy. No, bonanza when we're talking to you. He's either super lazy or super bad at hosting guests. It's one or the other. We're not sure. And again, remember, if he
Super
ever
bad at
invites you
hosting.
to the cabin, you are going to have to entertain yourself for 9 out of 10 hours of the day because he's only
Carrie
awake for 10 hours.
appreciated that. If Carrie was exhausted, I felt bad for Carrie the whole time I
Yeah.
was here because you were here. I'm like,
Can you
Carrie's
guys hear
gonna
me?
like
Okay, I've
fall
switched
over. Yeah. I can hear
Sure.
Sorry.
We have no
My bad.
choice.
Um,
So,
let's see,
Carrie, I
wanna
mean,
see.
I'm not a bad host, y'all. I thought I was nice. I bought you pizza,
you were nice.
big old.
You
pizza.
did buy us a big pizza because I felt like it was a guilt pizza, though, because you didn't spend any time with us.
That is so
Yeah.
not true. Oh my gosh! First of
Well,
all,
Kevin,
I had,
you
Can we
invited
confront
people
you?
from
Let's confront Kevin
Australia
in
to
love
your
about
home,
this
and you weren't
comment.
even there.
Let's
I was
confront
dealing
Kevin
with
in
this
love about this
problem.
comment. So
In
So
love, yes.
Carrie and Dawn were supposed to put stuff in his whatnot auction. Okay. And, Dawn was like, hey, what do you want us to put in your auction? And Kevin's like, well, I don't know if I want your garbage in my auction. And that's
Yes,
all I'm
he
willing
did-
to say.
he did
Your
say that.
garbage in my auction. And so what happened, Kevin, where all of a sudden you came better than us
my
while we're in
gosh.
your town? You just became better at everything. Just a better person.
Dave,
I
I've
don't
seen your
understand.
auctions. You sell plush that's unbranded and dirty.
Mhm.
I'm like,
That's
I don't
true.
want,
That's
I
what
don't
the
know.
people want.
I was.
This is coming from the country bumpkin that sells Tupperware lids. Just for the record, this is how you made your money.
That's not
He's
what I
literally
said.
selling an erectile cleansing plush for
Yeah.
$80.
This is a guy
and he's
talking about
what
garbage.
we're
the guy
selling.
that has a plush that's his mascot. He's went all in on this. He's had them produced himself. He paid for these to be produced.
Speaking of,
No
the produced
shit.
ones are almost
Well, I
gone,
want to talk
so
about
we've
that.
ordered
Let's talk
another
about
batch.
I
the garbage
bought
and
a
the whatnot
button-up shirt
because
and everything. Come on.
so historically, the way I've done a plush auction is I generally source my plush at a
He's
yard sale and I
defensive.
pick.
You see him getting defensive.
No. This
here?
I'm getting to the point. And I normally pick the plush that I like. Now, when Dawn and Carrie were here, we found this kind of honey hole thrift store where you could buy giant bags of plush for $5. In those bags, you have no control over what's there. So you end up with, and I
Can't
think this
see
is
through
why
'em?
Carrie and Dawn, well, but you can't see everything. It's like a jar of marbles. You don't know how many marbles are in it, right? And so these are huge
47.
bags. What would you say, Carrie? You probably can see like 50% of what's in the bag. The rest is not really
Yeah.
visible.
I know Dawn.
You don't really know what
I
you're
know
gonna get.
Dawn. She's
And so-
manipulating that bag. She's trying to find everything. I know Dawn.
No, well, listen, Kevin. All you need to do is find one that's worth $10 and the bag's worth the $5. So you don't have to spend that much time on them. My point is, you end up with a lot of plush that aren't that great. So what do you do with
Then
it?
get
Right?
rid of it.
Do you- well,
That's
and
what I
so-
see. I
but
watch
they're
these
also-
whatnot auctions.
Well, hold on. Let me finish. He's so interrupting. You guys always talk about me interrupting. This guy interrupts me every show, and no one says a word just because my voice is sexier. That's it. That's the whole. Anyways. So my point is, Kevin, that in the past, I don't really like to throw away plush because they can be given to kids. There's a lot that can be done with them. If they're not disgusting or dirty, if it's a decent, cute plush, it could bring joy to someone's life eventually, right? And so I don't really like throwing them out. I have an emotional connection with plush. So what I had been doing, especially when Carrie and Dawn were here, is we were just oh, we'll sell everything. This will be the lot of these. And they're just not great plush. So what I've decided to do now is I take all those unbranded, but still cute plush, and I throw them in a seven.
$7.
I throw them in a 7, throw them in a 7 until I have 30
That's
in there,
definitely
25
the
to
way
30
to
in
do it.
there. And then I run it as a mystery box, and I put the value anywhere from $15 to $25.
Yep.
So it's
That's
less
the way
than
to
a
do it.
buck a plush, and that seems to be what
So
people are
basically,
liking.
you
So
don't
that's my
give them
advice.
you won't give them to a poor needy child that wants a plush.
No, I give them to needy children. I gave some to my nephews and nieces when they were here last week. I gave some to my kids. So I give some of them away. I'm just saying, I think that's the way to do it. I think you're right. Just
Totally
running
agree.
something like
100%.
this for $1 is just a waste of everyone's time. So that was what I was trying to get to.
Yep,
Long-winded.
I totally
but
agree
go ahead.
with you. 100% agree with Dave. ADH Dave on everything.
You're trying to give me a topic. That's a good headline.
I like that. I mean, you're exactly right. I just wow.
And Carrie, I think you should try it too. I was telling you that you need to throw some mystery boxes into your auction, especially since you're
How about
sourcing a lot
throw
of
some
bags.
stuff away?
You could do that too.
I don't see. I think people, and I'm like this to some degree.
That's hard for resellers to hear, Kevin. That's hard for us
It is
to hear.
hard. It is hard.
I mean, as a
It
fake
is. That's my
reseller, it's
point.
easier for you. But for us, I mean, you don't even have an eBay account anymore.
Look, I can't sleep on my
I
death
do
pile.
have an
It's
eBay
not
account.
comfortable. I need plenty of plushes for me to sleep comfortably on my death pile.
What do you
You
do,
can make-
Kevin? What do you do if it gets banned? Like, just pretend hypothetically it did get banned.
That's what
do you
my
do?
video is about. And I will tell you right now, to this day, I never have got a response from them. I did finally get a $4,000 check, which was not a check, but I got paid, and I'm still selling, so I guess I'm okay. No response.
Well, and I guess you're okay regardless, because with your whatnot, I mean, you probably should stop selling on eBay and just focus on whatnot.
No. I tell you what, I thought about that, but I mean, the whole Flipper channel. I mean, what do? I can't do videos, talking head videos like Dave because I can't. I just don't have that skill to talk nonsense for.
Yeah.
28 minutes is how long I talked nonsense in the latest video.
For like
but you know
4
what?
sales? How many sales you have in that video?
I had 7 sales. Thank you very much.
28-minute video, 7 sales. Man,
Listen, it's not
you're the
nonsense
only
because
person who could do that.
This is the thing, Kevin. And I said it at the end of the video. I said this exact line at the end of the video. I said, guys, I know there wasn't a lot of sales today, but on our channel, we're real resellers, and sometimes you don't have a lot of sales. And that's okay. We just need to work to fix it and try to get more sales. And that's why we're going to spend 10 minutes listing during this video.
That was begging people to buy your stuff. That's what that was.
No, they don't buy my stuff. Ever since I upped my price from $4 to $15, they don't buy my stuff anymore. I'm telling you. They don't want to spend $15 for the shout out. It's $2 or less. It's so crazy.
The ET pins in there.
The ET pins are like the shout out price. What do you sell those for?
I think the cheapest one's like $4.50 plus shipping.
Yeah, that's the shout out price. I mean, it's not worth it to me. I don't know. You do a lot of shout outs that I wouldn't do. Like, you're a very cheap person. As far as like, it's like a prostitute of YouTube.
Nice. What? I read everybody's comments.
We've said that behind your back and also to your face.
I tell you what I don't do anymore, Dave, and I know you've had this before, is if people don't leave the comment on the purchase, I'm not digging through all the emails or all the messages. I can't do that anymore. I've just stopped. So if you ever do that, I'm sorry. And I get messages
it's impossible
like,
to find
I left a message. There's so many, dude. Are you being sarcastic or serious?
Well, it's impossible. No, it's true. It's hard to find them.
It's hard.
I'm being serious. It's hard to find them. It's not even that it's hard to find them. It's hard to remember the sale they were related to 3 days later.
That's exactly right.
That's
hard. It's hard, and then you start knocking. I wasn't listening, but I'm assuming this is what it's about. It's hard, then you start knocking stuff over, and it's just awkward.
Off of tables,
wherever the stuff.
I get the reference. It took me a minute. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Throwback to last episode.
So, can you tell me, how were the comments on the last episode? I several of them were negative towards me, and so I checked out.
I've got it
here. So, is there anything that's not negative towards me that you brought to?
Good. I think people liked that. Like we talked about earlier. It's nice that we went from clear, really engaging at the same spot, kind of content to 3, separate locations with terrible audio. It really is going to be a jolt for people.
I like Brian Klaus finally got the top comment. 16 thumbs up, 4 replies. I like the way Dave and Carrie are seated as they they can longingly look into each other's eyes with love that they share for each other. That was the number 1
comment. Did you see some of the fan art that was spawned out of that comment?
Oh my god.
That was pretty hilarious.
Ridiculous.
Like, I'm in a bride's dress, Carrie's in a tuxedo, and
was it all
you were the
Discord
officiator. They were on
group?
Discord. They were on Discord. They might have showed up on the Facebook, but they were on Discord, and there was
Carrie.
It was a beautiful wedding.
Talking about Viagra and just wanting to knock things over was hilarious, and no one noticed. That
we're
was
back
gold.
with that again. Carrie's hitting that same note this week.
So I think with all these wonderful ideas, you guys should have a Trash to Cash FlipCon next year. 8 thumbs up.
We can't. We didn't pay for it.
I should read these names here.
Couldn't we just slightly change, though? Like, put 2 P's and flip and we're good?
We could. I changed my YouTube channel name again.
Yeah, the AI Kitchen one?
The Flips one. The ADH Dave Flips. I just took off
ADH
Flips.
Dave? Yeah, ADH Dave. I saw that. I think that's good because there's no flips.
It's just going to be Dave.
There's rarely any sales, so I might as well just give up.
And this way, reseller.
Well, listen. Okay, so can we talk a little bit about that controversy? You made a video about it.
No, I didn't make a video about it. I made one comment about it in the video. I just used it for the title and thumbnail.
Well, then how come I got the whole thumbnail? It sounds like clickbait.
Well, my wife. I needed my
Not very
wife in
big
the
company of a
thumbnail.
YouTuber.
I walked in on my wife. She was packaging stuff up, and I said, "You're not a real reseller." And she looked at me like this. I'm like, "There's a thumbnail," so I had to use it.
This is a comment. I mean, I think it's an interesting comment, right? The whole like you're not a real reseller thing is kind of a farce in a sense because
Yeah.
if you buy something and then sell it, you're a reseller. That's that simple.
Not if you
This is
sell
not
it to
hard.
a viewer.
It's still reselling. You're still
I,
selling
I,
something.
I get this, dude. I've been
There's a
selling.
lot of
I've been selling for forever. I've got maybe
60
50.
years.
I don't know, 50,000 sales. I'm not a real reseller. Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
there's a lot of gatekeeping in reselling in general, like what's true reselling, what you should and shouldn't be doing in reselling, whether if you focus more on content than reselling, if you're actually a reseller. If you know, let's assume you're doing amazing content, some of the best content maybe in the world at the moment, but you focus highly on $1.50 cards that make you 40 cents a piece. Are you still a reseller? Yes.
Asking for
You're probably
someone
one of the
else.
best.
So we
Theoretically.
met. I don't know how many people you met down there at FlipCon, but I met 3 different people that I don't know who they are. They're not on social media, and all 3 of them told me they made over $100,000 net a year.
Wow.
Those are real resellers.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. But everyone's a real reseller, right? They just
Yeah, and
aren't
totally,
selling
because
as
people
much.
choose to do things differently. I'm not doing what Daily Refinement does. That's like a nightmare.
Or tech and
I'm not
sports.
selling shoes 24 hours a day. I'm not
Yeah.
doing it.
Not selling
I'd
really
rather
much
go
of
back
anything.
to teaching. Straight up, I'd rather go teach than do that. It's not fun. I'm not doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You want to sell, you know, nostalgic stuff for just adult baby men and women.
Yes,
That's
what I
what you
want
want
to
to sell. More power to you.
Man
man.
children.
But
Man
no,
children.
I mean that's not all I sell. But I hear you. I mean I like to find those things, right? But I'm not passing up some. And Dave, you're not. I've seen you pick too. Carrie might pass some of this stuff up, but I'm not passing off some hunk of junk that I want. You know, some receiver that'll sell for $200. I'm not passing that up.
No.
No way.
No.
You don't like
No,
golf
and-
clubs. You don't love it, but you're selling golf clubs because you're making money on it.
And just to, totally unrelated, but we never really finished the thought, guys. Reseller Clickbait Podcast took down all their videos. No longer making the show. We never finished that idea. So I just wanted you to understand that it's just gone off the face of the planet.
It's gone.
Yeah, they deleted. Why would you delete all the videos?
I don't understand why you delete the videos, because I had not caught up yet, Jimmy, and I would like to finish catching up before you delete the videos. So could you just put up the last
incomplete.
4? Let me finish them. It's like when the TV show ends before it's really over, and it's very frustrating. But yeah, exactly. I agree, Kevin. I don't know. I think, you are a real reseller. You are a real content creator. You're both things.
You're a real
because
boy.
you're good at content creation doesn't mean you're not reseller, not a reseller.
Well,
you might become not a reseller if eBay bans
because they talk about you make your money over here. Not, like I said Uncle Steve. I said I know people who are police officers who make more money doing that, but so they're not resellers because they're making more money doing this. How dumb is that?
That's a good. Well, okay, so I didn't watch the video where you were accused of being a fake reseller, but
I didn't say it was in a video. It wasn't a video? I was referring to some comments.
Oh, it was a
Whatever.
comment.
Just keep going.
Okay, so whatever it was, I do wonder, were they complaining because you don't disclose all the finances and where they come from and all that? Or were
I told you this, and I've seen this, and I have the same series of people keep commenting, and they're changing their names and coming back and commenting again, and I'll block them, which I don't block many people, but it was like the same exact comment from like 4 different accounts, and I'm just like, I'm getting a little tired of this. And I told you this is what would happen, Dave. When Harry Tornado did his Dave video and Dave did his Dave video, I'm like, here we go. This is it. And boy, it came flooding in, man. They're like, oh, I never knew Dave made so much money on this or that or whatever. And I was like, well, here we go. I have no desire to make how much money do I make video. You guys have already put the expectation out there that I make so much money.
What if I was to make a how much money does Kevin make video? Or Carrie could make the video.
Sure, why not?
Good idea. Just guess randomly. $1 million a day.
And not get into it. I'm going to just like, hey, I'll be honest on here. I'll just say I make 3 or 4 times what I made 3 years ago. That's how much more money I make doing this than teaching.
I'm honestly of the belief
Teaching
that
and reselling.
you guys do Flipper channel, like a Flipper channel, so it's a little different. You're talking about your daily sales a little bit. Dave's really not talking about it at all at this point. But as like a regular,
just because there are none.
Yeah, like I go back and forth between like talking head stuff and like picking videos. I don't really see I don't feel like I have to teach people like about how much I'm making per item. I'm just showing people that I'm going out and hunting, and then if they're interested in how much something's worth, they could very easily figure it out for themselves if I didn't show a little thumbnail or whatever. I just want to make
it's a good topic because
which I do, but I want to do it.
I get this, and I got this more and more too over the last month or two. Is how do I know these sales are real? This whole thing is. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like my store is out there, everybody can see it. Every single item I pick almost is on the picker channel. You can see both of them.
They see the whole life cycle.
You can see what I buy it for. You can see what I sell it for. I sometimes I'll go through and chart an item or a sale. I mean, what do you? I mean, if you don't put the comp that you sold it on the screen, you know how much time that takes. What, you think I'm lying to you when I sell it? It's just
they see the life cycle of the sale.
There's channels that don't do all, and then there's like nerdy deep dive channels that will go over every bit of their numbers. You can find that kind of content if you're looking for it, and I watch it a lot myself.
Well, and I think
everybody's different, is what I'm saying.
I had a very good time with the Australian pickers, Mel, back from Burnout, and Matt, the Aussie flipper, right? Yeah. And so I'm sitting there having a conversation with Matt and talking to him about like how I make my videos and things like that. He's like, I just don't understand how you get so many videos after, out of such a short period of time, right? Like you're making so much content, so much more than me. He said, I'm lucky to do a video a week. And I said, well, I don't know. I'm not so much focused on like the big find or the score or anything like that, because he was talking about like the big finds and how you need a big find for a hook, and I said I don't focus on that. Like I focus on the people, the experience, my family who comes with me. Maybe my mom does something funny, and that's a whole hook, right? That's like the whole idea of the video is what did my mom get up to, and it's just like I met this guy who was wearing, overalls with his nipples pierced, and he was, saying some funny stuff, right? That's a video, especially in Bedford, Virginia. That's a common video in Bedford, right? And so, and I was telling him, I said, it's not always about the big find. It's about the experience. And he's like, yeah, but I also feel like I have to teach them. And I said, what are you going to teach them? Half your viewers are from America. Are you going to tell them what something sells for in Australia? They don't care how much they can make if they move to Australia, because Mel told me to pick a Bible at this sale and said, oh, that's a $40 Bible. I got it home and I listed it's a $12 Bible. Yep. It's 40 in Australia, it's 12 here. So I'm not going to watch an Aussie flipper to learn. No, I just can't. I can't learn from them because it's a different market. So I told him, and you could see the weight lift off his shoulders, Kevin. I said, stop trying to teach. I said, just give us some entertainment, show us what you're doing, and just have fun. And he's like, oh, it's going to be so much more fun.
I feel like if you feel that pressure that you have to teach, then that's probably not the style of video you should be doing. But there definitely are YouTubers, content creators that do reselling that like that angle, and that's their thing. And I feel like when it's organic, it happens naturally, it's awesome. But like
in the Flipper channel,
me, that's not me.
I try to add like one thing that a new reseller would like grasp onto, but you can't do that because most of the people that watch these shows are they're as good or better sellers than a lot of us, and so you can't do that. And I think tutorial videos are good, but they're separate, they're different. But Dave, you hit a good point. I have the last of the 301 videos coming out with me and you in it, and it was the day that I was really struggling. I didn't even want to get out of the car. My back was so bad. And I think I bought 4 things in that whole video, but I highlighted you and highlighted what you bought and your stupid shenanigans and what Mike bought and what Eric bought. And I highlighted all those things because they're getting more than just what I'm buying and selling. It was the experience. It was the fun. It was jokes. And that video will do great. It'll do fun. It was a fun video to make.
Yeah, that's like my flea market content. And that's where the conversation started, where Paul and Rod got like 1 or 2 videos out of our flea market. I got 7. And people loved them. The retention was like 65% on them. People came back to watch the next one. And it wasn't buying. It was just having fun and experiencing shopping, which a lot of the viewers of that type of content just want to shop. They just want to go out shopping, and they may not be able to get up at 7 a.m. like Carrie, Yeah.
Not everybody's an early bird like myself.
I have a 2 out of 10 on my picker channel for the Sunday video, and everybody's commenting about a little girl that was in the video and the interaction. It wasn't about the super incredible find, because everybody's out there picking, and they have these encounters themselves, and they can relate to the content.
Yeah, everybody wants to go out, like when everybody wants to go out and pick with the Commonwealth picker. You know, they don't know that you smell like cabbage, oddly, like aggressive, like wet cabbage, which is weird. It's off-putting, and it's hard to pick with you for that reason in person, but like visually, virtually, it's nice, and I enjoy it when I do watch your videos, which is never.
Hey, speaking of your cabbage smell, did I really leave all that makeup I bought at your house?
Yeah, my wife looks
that's
great.
Disappointing. Does she look great? That's good. At least there's that.
Awesome.
I mean, I didn't spend much. It was like $5 a day, and I think it was like the Amazon bin store. It was $5 a day, and I think I spent $30. So it was like 6 items.
Stuff.
I mean, maybe you can sell them. Maybe you can make some money on them. I'm okay with it. You go.
I leave stuff.
Buddy.
I didn't know. I probably left stuff for 20 years. Maybe you
could lot some makeup up with your fanny pack so they actually start selling. Like do a little bundle.
Hey, here's some. I got
reverse bundled. But I've got some new Oakleys somewhere, Kev. Right over there, I got some new Oakleys that you left in my car.
Dude, I couldn't find
literally.
You need to send them back to me, and don't tell Death by Picker because my dog chewed his Costas, whatever they were.
Right, so I'll send them, and do I send you a prepaid label to send my makeup to me? Is that how this works?
just no. First,
you're like my wife's already used it all, Dave. Just there's no help. Can I tell you? Can we talk a little bit about Ground Advantage? I like to talk about reselling.
Yeah,
I love Ground Advantage. I love Ground Advantage so much because, like, okay, so I love one thing about it and I hate one thing about it. The thing I hate about it is I can't use my priority boxes as much. Right? Like I'm used to, as soon as something's over a pound, it's probably going in a free priority box. But now that's not the case because it's cheaper than UPS Ground a lot of the time. Right, and so I'm ending up having to buy all these boxes. I don't know if it's cheaper for golf clubs. I have to look into that.
It's size. If it's a big box, you're still gonna have to go because you're paying
Ground. But so what I hate about it is I'm not using priority boxes. I'm having to buy more boxes. That kind of stuff.
I told you this. Do you not remember me telling you this when the whole Supply Hut thing went? I'm like, this is unfortunate, y'all, because people are gonna be wanting boxes more than ever. I hate you, Carrie.
He looked like a little goblin when he did that.
I'm just saying. Somebody find that episode. I told you. I'll tell you what I hate about it, Dave. Is
okay. What do you hate about it?
It's a lot of time. Before you just packaged everything up and then I'd go and bulk ship. But now you have to look at where it's going to before you package it up because it determines the box you put it in. That's a pain in the butt.
Where it's going to or what it's going with?
Where it's going to. So if you have an item, what do you mean explain? This is basic reselling. If you have it,
in a box.
If you have an item, say, like I'm in a very big, not right here, but population of the East Coast, and so we ship most of our items fairly close to us. So if it's a 5, 6, 8 pound item, but it fits in a number 7 box and it's going to Tennessee, its priority is going to be cheaper than Ground Advantage. But if you look that 8 pound item up and it's going to California, it's going to be way cheaper to send it UPS Ground Advantage or USPS Ground Advantage. So you have to figure out where it's going before you choose the box, and I hate doing that.
See, I always just define that when I list it. It's either Ground Advantage or priority, and then I ship it with whatever I put on the listing because technically you're supposed to ship with whatever service they purchase.
Okay, so you put
and viewers
USPS...
have yelled at me for not doing that.
No.
They have yelled at me.
No, they've yelled at you for if it's priority shipping it another way. So you list everything USPS Ground Advantage, but it's sometimes cheaper to send it priority, and then you send it priority.
Bump up the service.
Yeah, bump up the service, cheaper price.
Okay, so I didn't realize it could ever be cheaper with priority.
Oh yeah,
I didn't think
absolutely.
that was possible.
Oh, totally. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Or at least the same price, or maybe 5 cents more or something. But it can be cheaper priority mail for sure. But regardless, it's never going to be much cheaper. But regardless, if it's the same amount, don't you want to use the free box?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I do want to
and get it to them quicker.
And I find I'm sometimes like putting things as priority just because I want to use the free box. So maybe I should just put them as Ground Advantage and every.
I put every single thing Ground Advantage.
I just learned that the USPS priority boxes were free, and I just started using them like less than a year ago. So there we go. I mean, I knew they were free. I just never used them until Kevin publicly shamed me on the podcast. So.
He publicly shames you a lot into action. It's working.
No,
the public shaming is working. Carrie's at the store buying shirts buying shirts because Kevin was like, "That's the third day Carrie's worn that shirt since our trip started."
I literally
and
went
so
to
Carrie's
I
like,
learned this.
"Can you take me to Walmart to buy some clothes?"
Carrie, do you know
Kevin's
anything
making
about the
fun of me.
Cultural Revolution, Carrie?
Yeah, are we talking
in
about
China?
Yeah.
That's where I learned that shaming works. It's the same idea with a dunce cap. So we should put a dunce cap on you when you do stuff like
It
that.
worked. It is powerful because it propelled me into change. So I appreciate it.
It did, yeah. Literally into changing his shirt.
Hey, we have it in our culture. The shaming of people to change their behavior. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Take it to a boring spot there.
Yeah.
So anyways, so what do we like about Ground? So I'll tell you what I like about Ground Advantage. It's totally taken away my 15-ounce anxiety. Like I always had this unspoken anxiety of, ooh, what if this ends up being 17 ounces? Because all of a sudden the charge is going to go up $4 and I'm covering it. Right? And if it happens 10 times a week, that's 40. You know what I mean? Like there was always that little anxiety. Now it's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all.
The best thing that USPS has done in a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I'll add to this and just say, do you remember go back like 2 years when they started to, or a year, I guess, when, if it's over this size, it became ridiculously expensive and then you had to go to UPS, right? It was like they were trying to get rid of large, it's like they were trying to get rid of business. And then they make this 180 and it's like, well, what'd you do that for to begin with? How stupid.
At least
I guess it was a
pivoted.
labor issue.
We've been telling eBay that we would like immediate payment on stuff since like 1997.
Yeah.
And they're still
maybe
it's coming. It's down the pipeline.
Just a reason why they held my money for that much time and told me nothing. That would be nice.
My cousin's wife comes over my house on Saturday night, and she's like, "I'm an eBay seller now. I've been watching your content. I have tons of good Lego sets, so I started selling them." She's like, "The only problem is, I sold the set.
I got
for
these Beanie Babies."
No, she said no. She I taught her good. She's like, "I sold this Lego set for $450, right? That she had." And she's like, "And the person's not paying. How come they're allowed to not pay?" And I said, "Welcome to eBay."
It's so weird.
She's like, "It doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, I don't even know why that's possible to not pay." I'm like,
she could have sold it on Whatnot for $112, and they would have paid.
They would have paid.
Bonanza, they literally run everything on DOS or something or MS Paint, and they still know how to get immediate payment. But eBay, multi-billion-dollar company,
quadrillion. Okay, so did you guys see we have someone in our back room? Did you see that? Do you even know how to see that?
Dude. Is this when I need to get out of here?
We have a special guest. guest.
Dude, is it Rocky Top? Rocky Top.
It's not Rocky Top. It is Justin. Wait, he's in the wrong spot.
Justin, just
make money flipping from our Discord and our Patreon.
I feel like he's going to pitch us on like some cryptocurrency or
kind of, yeah. He's going to tell us about crypto.
All this fancy audio equipment is going to take our job.
In some sort of cubicle made of rubber.
Okay, so Justin, you may recognize him from The Amazing Race. He's the guy who lost and basically disappointed himself and all of us. So Justin messaged me quite a bold message. He said, "Your show sucks. You could be a much bigger show." Right?
Wait a minute. Did
potential.
He message you or did I send this to you? I sent this to you. Did he also message you? Was he?
I don't know if you sent it to me. I don't
Dave?
Look at your messages, but he messaged me and basically said, "Hey, you suck, and I can help your show." He said,
I love that we had Justin on the podcast for like 2 minutes. We haven't allowed him to speak yet.
No, don't talk yet because I wanted to listen. He told me to Google his name. He said, "Google my name." That's just his intro. Yo, have you Googled me? Have you Googled me yet? I haven't Googled you, and I'm not going to.
Right. He made the mistake of thinking I made any decisions on us, and he sent me the message, and I screenshotted it and sent it to you, and I told him, just ask Dave, because I don't know.
Right. So to be fair, I never saw Kevin's message. Where did you send it to me? On my
I sent it to both you and Carrie on a text message.
I thought that was a message from Chris.
Let the man
from
talk,
the New Jersey Flipper. All right, so tell us what we can do to make our show not suck so bad. Go.
Well, I mean, you just saw it, and within 3 minutes of me being here, you saw like 5 of the most common mistakes that new morning shows do. For those of you who don't know me, I've done morning radio for 15 years and helped morning radio shows get better. That was part of my job. So watching you guys, I really see that you guys have everything it takes to be a great show, except you don't allow it. You don't allow it to happen.
That would go against our narrative. doing things
Well, like
right,
Kevin's
being
audio is a
successful.
good starting point,
Yeah.
right?
Like the dude on the show who's like the rich one has the like cheapest internet. Like, stop it. Just get Fios already. Would
He's
you
frozen.
stop it?
He's frozen right now.
Listen,
Listen.
I will say this.
I got-
No. You can't get it here. You cannot get good internet here. You cannot physically get it. I would pay $500 a month. You can't get it. You think they
You know how
have
much extra
Fios
money
out
he
here?
has just to waste?
You literally can't get internet here that's any good. It's not even possible. It's not a money issue. You can't get it.
Well, you could move
I'm not
Move to
to the
moving.
beach.
Location.
You have
Not
enough money.
moving.
You have enough money to pay somebody to go get it and bring it to you.
No.
Get me internet. Bring me. Okay, so Kevin's
All right,
internet.
you get me
Kevin's
good internet.
Okay.
Anybody out there, get me good internet. You do it. You find it. You think
I know a
they're
guy who
stringing
knows Elon.
cable out here? Elon doesn't. That's not even available here. You can't
When's
get
that coming? That's got to be close.
I got
That's
a
gotta
Hey,
be
look it
close.
up. Type in my zip code. You look it up. It's not available here. There's a waiting
His
list.
zip code only has one number, by the way.
Yeah,
in
it's
case
two.
you were curious. It's just the number 2.
All right. Well, is the computer you're using on Wi-Fi or is it plugged in?
It's a phone.
I mean, it's obvious. You know, if you just plugged it into like a router, you'd be 10
Listen.
times faster.
No, my computer runs off of my phone because my phone has a better signal than my internet.
That's
My
true. I've been to
internet-
his house.
My internet
Maybe
is
try
a
a
little dish
fresh
on my
AOL
roof
disk.
pointed at a mountaintop 38 miles away to get a signal. That's my internet.
Oh, well,
I'm just
Okay,
telling you.
all right.
I don't want
Welcome
to. I don't want
to
to bore the
rural
viewers. I'll
Virginia.
help you after the show. We don't want to bore the viewers with your internet. but
No,
it's
you
definitely
won't
an
help
issue.
me after the show.
I will.
I'm telling you. Okay.
Okay,
What's
so
the-
we're
what's the
starting
other
off with
video?
Kevin.
I wanna-
Now roast me or Carrie next.
Oh God.
So it's easy.
No, listen. So listen. When I first started watching the show, Carrie, your persona on your channel, you're like the sweetest, most kindest dude that you would want to hang out with anywhere. And then your viewers come to this show and they see Carrie. Oh, Dad! Haha, you're old, Dad. Screw you. Stop going to sleep. And you guys immediately become stepbrothers at the table, sitting there, just going back and forth. It's like you guys took the magic mushrooms, and Dad is sitting here just having to watch you sober. And every time he tries to talk, it's like, Daddy! But no, you were like the sweetest dude, and your persona is 100% different here. So like your viewers come here and see a totally different person. So people could love your card channel, and they would never like this channel.
That's
Because
true.
they don't get to see the same person. They see like this. Almost,
I've oftentimes
What if-
thought
what
about
if
that
I hate
because how
both?
much of this side of me do I want to show on that channel in particular? Because
Yeah, like,
that's
do you want to let the monster out?
yeah, it's just a different side.
This
It's a
is the
different
real
thing.
Carrie.
Well, it's part of everything is part of me, and everything is within me and without. It's
No.
like when-
Confucius say. I like
yeah,
that.
I mean, obviously, we all know the biggest problem is Dave.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's hear it.
Wait a minute.
Ready.
Can I put you on pause for a second? I just want
Okay, go.
to show you. I just looked it up and it says available, waitlist, or coming soon, and my address is in the wait list.
Ooh, not even coming
not-
soon.
list.
There you go. Okay.
Okay, go. My turn. I'm ready.
All right, so Dave, you have probably the most upside as far as talent
That's fair.
it goes.
That's fair.
But you
I agree so far.
You also are the biggest train wreck. Like
Got my hand right on the ban button on Discord. Keep going.
you literally take a great moment on a show and you say, "Wait a second, come over here." You guys haven't looked at me for 3 seconds. Look at Dave right
that's
now.
true. That's
Like,
true. Although, what's funny, Justin? Let me interrupt you because I know you.
We were having a great moment. You just interrupted, by the way.
I'm interrupting your great advice here to say that tonight it's been Kevin doing the interrupting. Actually,
Yeah.
so
He's
just
been a little-
this episode was a little backwards, but go
He's
on.
been a
Go on.
saucy minx today for sure.
I might have sent them some coaching beforehand.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, so you literally take this you throw the show off the most because obviously the biggest way to get more people to watch this show is to actually get some of Kevin's fans to watch. And there's not one of
that's
Kevin's
fair.
fans can watch this show because all you guys do is abuse the shit out of him. And when he's actually about to make a good point, you guys just start pretending you're sleeping or start making noises, and he just
So yeah, I mean, I think it was some good advice, but anyway,
That's terrible, Dave. I feel bad. I totally disagree with everything you said. Well, not everything, but now I feel bad for him. It's like
why? I feel good. Like this is why we brought him on the show.
Dave.
Sorry. Technical difficulties,
switched-
Justin. I'm sorry.
no,
What was that?
Listen, the truth hurts. I understand it. Nobody ever wants to
the
hear
truth
it.
hurts. Everybody comment below. I would just say
That-
this. Let me say this. And this is a legitimate question.
Yes.
Why does this? You think the show could be better? I get that.
Yeah. No,
But
the show is
this
good.
is the only reselling podcast that really has massive action. There's some that have some.
Yeah.
So there's obviously.
No, you guys have a great
some
chemistry.
people like it.
You guys, no, I'm not saying it's a bad show at all. It's the reason that I reached out is because I see potential. I don't just reach out because hey, I have nothing but time. I got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, but I see a lot of potential with this show, and I see that you guys have tremendous growth on everything else that you're doing, and this is growing at a slower pace and hit more of a slow pace, and it hit a slow pace when the show changed. And if you go back and watch the show, you could see the show change, and it starts to become pile on on you.
I would
which
say
is funny.
the show is growing as faster than it ever has.
Okay, it's a funny show. That
Am I
is
right,
really
man?
good. I don't know numbers wise. I just know that I would have expected it to get to 10K by now.
I would like it to get to 10K
that you guys had.
Patreons. That would be my primary goal.
That's the real goal.
I would guess that Kevin's viewers are in the money age, which is probably 10 years higher than your viewers.
Yeah.
As far as my demographic goes, his viewers are probably like I would say the 35-year-old demos, and yours are more like 25, whereas his is more close to the 35. And I think that they have more money to spend, and they would be more likely to be Patreons because Kevin is like.
Well, you do have
Don't
like
give
a
me money.
giant mouse head under your desk that you wear when you DJ, right? Like what is it that you wear when you do your DJing?
I don't wear actually when I DJ.
So most of what you're saying is wrong, but it doesn't mean you don't have good opinions or advice.
No,
so my
well,
demo
listen.
is 45 to 55. That's my demo. Kevin's is also 45 to 55. Carrie's, I
wait
think,
a minute. I
probably
want
is
to
closer to
clip
35, right?
It's like 35 to 40, like my age, basically.
Yeah, 35 to 45. So
40,
me and Kevin
and I
both
will
have an
say
older demo.
55?
Yeah,
I will
45
say
to
this.
55 is my demo.
I will say this: there's
How old
no
are you, sir?
doubt whatsoever that
I'm your demo.
audio, and even backdrops and whatever it would make a huge difference. I have no doubt, and I wish I had better internet, but I don't.
Yeah. Well, and so what I could do, what we should do is we should take like $50 out of our budget, get Justin on a train, because that's all we can. Bus. Greyhound. Not Greyhound. What's the cheaper
Send
one?
him to me.
The cheapest bus to Kevin's house to figure out his technology for him.
Yeah, totally agree.
If you can get good service on your phone, you can get good internet.
Well,
I can
you get good service on your phone?
That's the thing. I literally could take this phone down my steps, and I could not do the show. That's why I do the whatnot from here. I can't do it in the shed. I can't do it anywhere. I can't do it I mean, Dave knows this. Dave's been here.
No, I see the troubles
It's pretty
troubles
bad.
that you guys have. I mean,
feel
it's
like
led to
you
some
should-
funny moments.
I feel like you should do the show from the local Starbucks or the Blimpies.
I could do that. Now, I considered that, but I don't make enough money from this show to drive 20 minutes from my house to do the show. I don't like Dave enough.
If it's sponsored by
Sorry.
Starbucks.
Oh,
yeah,
there you
that's
go.
true.
You can probably lock that in. Well, okay, so here's my question. As far as like format goes, Justin,
Yeah.
do you think we'd benefit from like a format where it's like this segment, this segment, this segment, this segment?
At least some direction where people are, where you know where you're gonna go, because there's times that obviously there's things that Kevin wants to get out and he never gets out. There's some things that should be aligned or lined up with, like, we have to get to at least this, and let the funny moments never.
So
never
basically,
stop the
make
fun.
it boring like the other podcasts is what you're suggesting.
Well, that
not
is
at
the
all.
problem.
Not at
Yeah.
all. I just want.
It's
I
a
want them.
balance.
I want you to have some sort of balance, because right now it's funny.
What I
Let
would
me-
love, what I would love, and I've talked to you guys, I think, about this. I would love like an intermixing of like some sincere moments, maybe reselling related, or just like some real, like more deep moments at times. Because I feel like a lot of our conversations personally, we can actually really get into stuff But definitely in the podcast, me and Dave are combustible. We're a problem.
Yeah. Well, and tonight we talked about accidentally over medicating your child and UPS Ground Advantage and such. So we did talk about things that could be meaningful, and we talked about Carrie's circumcision and adult age, and so we've talked about interesting things.
I'm going to give a different take on this here, and I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
But my different take on this is they get me. This is me. This is really me. What's me in the shed is also really me. So they get me. My viewers get me all the time. They get 3 shows, 5 shows a week. They get Dave all the time. I think this works because it's totally different. It's something you can put on in the background and you can resell. You can work.
I got that. My mindset was trying to get your viewers to become their viewers.
Well, let me ask you, where did you hear about this podcast from?
From Dave.
Okay.
Interesting.
It's an interesting Dave take.
I found this because I was a reseller like 4 years ago. My wife was recently diagnosed with ADHD. I started searching ADHD, and because of my old reseller stuff, and his name changed to ADH Dave, it suggested him. And because of the way he talked,
my wife got you that subscriber, Dave. Just saying.
You go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would like viewers to tell us in the comments where did you come from? Where did you hear? Did you hear it on a podcast? Did you find it organically? Did somebody say something? Did you watch me? Did you watch Dave? Did you watch Carrie? Yeah, I'm curious because I want to see some data. Because if I've had 8 million people say I tried to watch the podcast, I can't watch the podcast. So what you're saying isn't necessarily wrong, but I don't know that that's. They already see me.
I'm not saying to vanilla it up. I'm just saying more balance. All it needs is more balance. There's two of them and there's one of you. And when there's times that you give up rather than fighting back. So there's never a chance that you really fight back for that moment when you need it. And there has to be that
Are you pleading for one more boring person on the show? We could totally get
one more person.
Ken's available.
Ken's available.
If there's ever one show to go back and watch, it's go back and watch your Hustle at Home mom or Homeschooling Mom.
Homeschooling Picker.
Go back and watch
Episode
Homeschooling
20.
Picker.
She was much more like Kevin, yeah.
Watch her. Just watch her the whole time. And you can see the reaction of a viewer who would be watching your show. You can see when she's leaned in and engaged, and then you can see when she's back here like, what the hell is going on? And then you can see when she's trying to talk, and then it's just like, and she's like, oh, well, all right, I'll just stick here and giggle. I'll be here and look cute, put my name in the title, get some viewers. That's fine.
That's fair.
She tried hard. She tried hard to get some stuff out. No.
That's kind of the point. Did you watch the first Harry Tornado episode? Because he was just, and Caleb, when he was on here, it's like, what?
Like a deer.
There has to be a balance, yes.
But you don't get that anywhere else. That's all I'm saying.
No, listen. I wouldn't reach out to the third best show or like the Reseller and Information Network or any like.
Oh, Eric, take that.
I would reach out to a show that I think can be like the best and do something that could be great. Like you guys have the abilities and have the show. With the way the show is supposed to set up.
Do you think Dave is capable of doing segments?
What we want.
Without medicating. This is the big challenge.
The problem is having a list there is fine. You don't have to say, okay, and next, let's go to our next segment where we talk about blah, blah, blah.
Well, hey, I have a question. When you watch my show, does it remind you of your wife?
Yes. Which helps me to relate. It helps me to relate to some of the things that it's
she's
like, okay,
doing.
It's not just her using that as an excuse every time. It's like, why just pick it up?
That's like today, my wife sends me a text, Justin, and she's like, Dave, what the heck is this, basically? And she sends me a picture of in the fridge where it's like foods, all the foods that are in a fridge, and then next to it is my prescription medicine. And she's like, why is this in the fridge? And I said, I don't know. I put it there, I guess. I was looking for it, though. Thank you for finding it.
No, this show is hands down the best as far as resellers go. That's
well, Kevin, maybe you should send me your list before the show so I can have it to look at.
Dave tried to do this at one point.
I did try to get a list, and they shot me down. They
Because
shut me down
it's-
because I said, here's what I said,
Look.
Justin. I said, let's throughout the week, I'll create a Google Doc.
Mm-hmm.
When we see something that we think would be interesting to talk about on the show, add it to this Google Doc. Right? And throughout
And
the
I
whole
said,
the whole
this
week,
is
you add to the Google Doc,
stupid.
add to the Google Doc, and then when we're doing the show, we can have these reference points to hit and discuss. But Kevin said, Dave, you're a moron and you're ugly, and I hate your whole family. And that was
No, I
just surprising
didn't.
to me.
I just know you're not capable. You're not
Preparing is
capable.
tough. Like I'm
See,
typically
they have
like
no belief.
joining
They have
the
no
podcast
faith.
5 seconds
You have-
before it starts after being in a frenzy. So
Yeah, but
Now,
you're here to bring the funny, and funny
I'm not-
doesn't need much preparation. Like
No,
you're the
that's
smart
true.
humor. You have really
That's very
intelligent
true.
humor.
No
And
doubt.
until you get with Dave, and then Dave becomes like that little kid humor, and then you get take the intelligent
I
humor,
go down.
and then it's just like little kid humor,
Yeah,
and your
Twitter as
intelligence
well.
level just
Well,
slows way down.
Dave has never said this, and he's never showed this, but I have a feeling I'm 100% correct that Dave has a list or at least a clue of the points he wants to hit. Am I right, Dave?
False.
Yes, you do.
Totally. I have no
Yes,
list.
you do.
I have
Nothing?
No list. I have
Not,
nothing.
I don't mean like
Dave's
physical
good at-
list, but when you have a mental list that you make during the week of things that I don't believe you, Dave. I know you do.
If he's
I
like my
don't.
wife, if he's
Every
like my
now and
wife,
then, I'll have, we should talk about that. Right? Or I'll send Carrie a message, hey, we should talk
I
about
think
this. Like,
yeah.
every now and then I'll have like
last
one or
week
two
we had a
items,
couple
but I had
things
none
we
this week.
Talked about a couple times. Try to remember to talk about.
But
That's why
I
think
did
it would
see, I
be
will
good.
say this. I watched these two on their own. Did you ever go watch episode 1 through
Yes.
like 13?
I wanted
Right,
to see
and
how they
watch them
talked you
on
into
their
joining the show. Yeah.
And so I had
begged
some
us.
of the very same thoughts. That's not true. I had some of the very same thoughts. I thought this show is gold. It's absolute gold. What it needs is a foil or somebody to bring a point every now and again. But it doesn't need. And
Like
I'm
a-
an advocate for resale.
We needed
but
like a dull, unsexy person, and we got
I
it.
knew that was
We
me.
got it with Kevin.
I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
perfect for this.
Because we
I
were
think-
we
no,
were bringing a
listen.
little too much heat.
Justin, I think you have some good points. I think it would be good if we could control ourselves a little bit, but also try not to make it too boring. But we need the viewers to weigh in the comments down below.
For sure.
So let us know what you think of Justin's
I
feedback.
just
If you
wanna-
hate Justin, just do a thumbs up icon so he knows.
Yeah, I don't expect a lot of love. I didn't actually know you were going to put this to the viewers. I thought I was just going to help you after your.
No. This is more fun to do it this way. Who's that? Is that Heather?
That was my wife yelling.
Oh, what's she yelling
Yeah.
about? Did you
And
get her a
me
new
or Jacob?
fridge?
Yeah,
No.
new fridge
Did you
up
get her a new
Fridge
fridge?
Oh,
Kevin?
still
no,
doesn't
I have not
work.
get her a fridge
He
yet.
does not
Good
have a
grief.
working fridge, Justin. He doesn't have internet and he doesn't have a fridge. You could probably buy a fridge with internet built in. That would be two birds,
Wouldn't
one
work.
stone.
It had
You can watch
Wi-Fi.
YouTube.
I have Wi-Fi. It's
Ah.
crappy internet. You can't connect a device to a Wi-Fi that has crappy internet and expect good internet.
Does your father-in-law live right next to you or your dad? Someone lives like next door, right?
No, nobody. My dad lives
Someone-
down the road about 5
Oh,
minutes.
Does he have better internet?
No, worse.
Oh.
Ask Mike. That's probably bigger.
Dude, what if you could just record the show at Brandon's house?
Yeah,
I'm not driving for. He lives 45 minutes away from me, dude.
Dude, it's
Put a
worth
little
it for the
No.
show, Kevin. It's
No.
worth it for the show.
Just call Rocky Top. He might want to come on. He's got good audio. He can
He
keep
does.
you
He's got
serious.
good audio. He's got better hair.
you got good hair. Exactly.
He's got great bandana action.
No,
He looks like it's a podcast. So I go back and forth with this too about YouTube and thumbnails. Overproducing things sometimes doesn't help either.
Yeah, for a podcast though, like you can't overproduce audio because a lot
No,
of people
absolutely
like the
not.
audio is so important. And my audio is better now because my Yeti just crapped the bed. Justin sent me a list of what I need to buy, but I don't have the money for it right now, so I'm gonna wait
Listen,
and buy it next
Dave
week.
made me buy a MacBook. He made me, or he
And
sent
Kevin
me a
can't figure out how to
Yeti.
use
Thank
any
you.
of it.
Oh my gosh.
I made him.
Carrie's
I didn't say
seen my
MacBook. I
computer.
said buy a computer and a decent mic.
You're literally running. What is that like you have? I forgot what it was. It's like something from like 2000.
It's a
He's got like a
Lenovo
Toshiba-
ThinkPad.
Yeah, from
Lenovo.
2004.
that's
2004.
IBM.
It's got the
I've
little
loaded-
red. It's got the little red mouse thingy in the middle of the keyboard. Remember that thing? It's got that
Yeah,
little thing.
yeah.
That's how
It's
he-
blue. I've
Got the
loaded
AOL ad on the side still.
2,000 YouTube videos. I
Intel
built an
inside.
Inaman empire with my phone and a computer that's as old as Dave.
My favorite Netflix show.
So what's your excuse? It's basically what he's saying to you guys. Your
That's
fancy
good, I like
stuff,
that, yeah.
Your fancy stuff put you together. You still don't have my viewers,
Listen,
boys.
and this is a reselling show, but at the end of the day, like, it really doesn't matter how good your equipment is if you don't have the personality for it. If you don't, I see a lot of people like, Dave, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. What should I buy? Budget's no object. And I'm like, just make good videos with your phone, and then if you can do that, then go buy better equipment, right?
Yeah.
I will say this. My favorite time of the week, and I mean this sincerely. I like these two guys. I know they tease me, but I can't handle Dave too much. I wish 2 days and it's like, all right, go home.
Yeah, he's ready for me to go. Although he wouldn't even let me come over, but yeah.
I'd let you, dude. You were here for like 6 hours, dude. I just
It was a
chose
totally
the 6
different
hours.
vibe the day that Dave wasn't here, though, and we were
Oh
hanging
my
out.
gosh, yes.
Breathe.
Carrie was like, I'm like, yeah, it was like, let's just relax. It was fun.
Yeah.
You didn't have to go picking.
Get a
24
giant
hours.
pizza, and like 5 minutes later, Dave's like, "Let's go get ice cream." I'm like, "Dude,
Yeah, dude, I have like the best moment of Mel eating that pizza on my video. That is like the most sincerely like sweet Australian in the U.S. moment that could totally be on TV. Where she's eating this pizza and she looks up and sees she's on camera and she's just like embarrassed but delighted at the same time that she's eating a giant pizza.
Hey, I do have a question for you. Since you said you were in radio,
Yeah.
I love radio. I listen to AM radio my whole life.
of course you do."
Of
AM
course,
radio,
I
he
love
says.
it.
AM. Yeah.
I still
AM
listen.
radio. AM
There's a
radio.
great bluegrass state. Anyway, so a lot of these podcasts that do work, and it goes way back to some of these early rock jocks and whatever, they have 3 people and they are constantly interrupting, but they do it with better skill, I think, than we do.
Yeah.
And do you think that's the format, the 3-person radio format is the key for something like this? And I see podcasts that are successful too.
100%. The recipe for a successful show is a deer, and a dork. And so you got.
Wait, what was the second one?
Eggplant emoji.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
me.
yeah. So
A
you would
deer
be
and a
like
wiener and a
a deer in the headlights. The guy that's like, oh, everything's like new to him. It's like, oh, like ooh. And then you got the dork who's. We got that
Kevin.
role, right? And then we got the guy who's there to bust everybody's chops. So
That's Carrie.
you have
So
that.
Carrie's the deer.
Like that. This is the problem. They twist each other and try to
we're
go
both
back and forth.
I was just saying, me and Carrie are both of those.
But
things.
Carrie's the reselling deer. He's not the deer in anything else. He's too smart.
Yeah,
That's my take on it.
Carrie, could you be
that
dumber?
makes sense.
Could you
I
try to be dumber?
actually can resell. I've played a character because it's funny.
And I'm actually not rich. I play a character.
I really feel like being the eggplant emoji is where I want to live, though, Carrie. So if you could hone in on the deer, that would help.
No, well, I mean, you got to go with what's natural.
Well, he's naturally. I would say that
I'm the
Dave is
villain.
naturally more naturally eggplant emoji, and you're
Yeah.
naturally
I don't know
more.
what.
No,
Being
you're-
in radio, could you give us like names in a show that has that formatting? Because I see it all. I see that exact formatting in different genres. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally any show, even television. Any show that has an entourage, you just pick a show. Anyone. If you look at Howard Stern, you look. I don't know what shows that you guys listen to, depending on your local market.
I don't listen to our show.
Yeah, and any show you would have the main guy, and the main guy is usually the big douchey guy, or
That's me.
or
Yeah.
or the guy that everybody is picking on, and then because everybody's picking on him, the audience roots for him. So the whole job.
So yeah,
of
it
the
could be
audience
me
is
or
root.
Kevin.
So
then Carrie is
and I
the
will say
comedy.
this. Dave and Carrie, and they know this too. Dave says it all the time. We destroy your reputation, but in reality, they make me a sympathetic figure.
Oh
We
my
do.
God! Yeah.
We help him out, yeah.
Yeah.
We help him out.
And it doesn't matter
We've
how
done
bad
so
you
much
are. You could say the worst things on this show. They always say something worse. So you never look bad. You can
Yeah,
never
we'll take
look bad.
his, like in the time you said Murano crack pipe, and we just, by the way, weren't you the one who made that slow motion of Kevin's hand motions last week? Because that was
Yeah.
glorious. That was one of my favorite moments of last week.
You guys kind of asked for it.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. Oh,
I need to
wish
hire.
we
We
could
need
share
to
that
hire
out.
him to do our shorts. He
Yeah,
would be
there you
killer at it.
There you
I
go.
would love to help you guys. I could.
Well,
definitely
you're
help
making
a lot of
content now. Are you going by Picker's Eye or Make Money Flipping on YouTube?
Well, see, the thing, Make Money Flipping was the thing I started with, and I just figured when people were Googling stuff, it'd be like Make Money Flipping, and I would get people organically just from searching Make Money Flipping. And the Picker's Eye is like a game show that I think would just be a more fun way to like do my what sold videos. Instead of just saying, hey, I sold this for $35, it's like, hey, here's a game, let's play a game, and maybe people will watch. And it's something brandable.
Dude.
So
here's the biggest thing. If you want to help us, which we want help.
Yeah,
okay?
I would love to help you.
If
guys.
you want to help us, you gotta help me help them figure out technology, because I don't have the patience for it or the time for it. And like, I went over to Kevin's and I literally, remoted into his computer. I set up like OBS and his Yeti and everything to work, and he proceeded to break it within 1 week.
I didn't.
And
do
it's almost
anything
like
to it. I never
whatever.
touched it.
By the he had his mic working, everything was sounding pretty, it was looking handsome, and the next week it was all broken again. And we got like 1 week of Kevin sounding good, and it was glorious, but it's gone now, and it's like I can't do it again.
Yeah, I could definitely help with audio. I've put together remotes at strip clubs, so I could definitely do something in his place.
Of course, at strip clubs. My dream has always been to figure out a way for, and I don't think it's possible, but my dream would be for everyone to record locally, video and audio.
Yeah.
Maybe not video even, maybe just audio. And then send it to me, and I could compile it and have the original raw audio not sent through the internet at all. But Kevin's internet's obviously a problem because it's like 1 kilobyte an hour. And so again, if we could find a way to get fairly better, this is boring for the viewers. We're really
I could definitely.
point.
I mean, you can record locally; it won't affect his internet at all.
Yeah, but to get me the file in a timely fashion, that's the thing I'm concerned about.
It's audio; it's not too bad.
Dude, yeah. Listen. It takes me with what I do. It sometimes for a picker video, it'll take 2-3 hours to load it.
But it is audio. It's a smaller file. Yeah. But Kevin can't figure out how to record his local audio. That's the part I could use some help with. Anyways, guys, we'll work on the show. As Justin has said, it's terrible. Is that a Fugler hat?
Yeah.
Where do you find a Fugler hat?
Yes.
Wow, that's cool.
I got fans in Australia who sent me
Send
some
it all
stuff.
over.
Wait till I show you what I got. I got like 12. Wait till I show you.
Dude, did you see my Ninja Turtles? This is the part of the show where we talk about Fuglers.
Yes,
Check this
Fuglers. So I got fans in Australia.
Check this out.
Ninja Turtle
Ireland.
Fuglers?
Oh,
This is Raph, Carrie. Ninja Turtle Raph.
No, I get that. Real
Viewers,
it's
not fans. Viewers.
Viewers. They're fans of his show. His Amazing Race performance.
Oh,
right?
okay. Well, okay,
Yeah.
that's
Is that a real
acceptable.
thing? You were on The Amazing Race?
Yeah, season 27.
Oh, wow.
I
Congratulations.
was on This Is
Well,
Your
he
Life
lost,
in
so
the
don't
50s.
congratulate him.
Oh, okay. Well, then you
We
should
did
let us all
lose.
down.
We did lose, but statistically, we're the third best team to ever run the race out of over 400 teams. So
That's still not good
we
enough
hold
to
all
get the $1
sorts
million.
of records. We just didn't win.
Just remind us, how much did you win versus how much
I
could you have
Pacino
won?
in West Side Story, Davis High School, 2002. Just want to share it.
Could have won $1 million.
Could have won $1 million. Second place gets 25,000.
Dude, that's the difference? That's insane.
If you're not depressed, you should be.
Oh God. I've literally gone to therapy over it.
All right. Well, this has been Trash to Cash, episode 90 something. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.